Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, Brock, do you know what today is?
Hump day!
It is hump day. It's so exciting. And I know you were trying to snarl me there. Get me in some kind of a jam by hanging me out.
What do you mean?
Uh-huh. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Which day is it? That's right, Wapsie Hockey. You're right about that. Good morning. What's going on? Hello.
Good afternoon. What's going on?
Hello, sorry. Good afternoon, Mama J4. Woo, woo. Hi, Cindy MG. Mike. Greta Bum, what's going on, girl?
That could be one of the best commercials.
Hello, Mr. I'm still saying my favorite. Who knows? Let's see if anybody gets it.
Wait, do it again? I don't know.
Let's see. I'm gonna have some, because I've said it before. Let's see who pays attention. Let's see who remembers which ad that was that I've said.
I know.
Shh. Yes.
It's a car commercial.
All right. Go, Griffin Lady. You started your GLP-1 today. Well, it's funny.
I'm going to start it today, too. It says take it with meal.
Look at that. Right? Let's see.
Wendy said I was a fatty Bobalatti.
I did not. Does anybody remember that ad? You don't. That was the VW one with the little boy acting like Darth Vader. Yes.
And they started the car remotely.
Was so cute. All right. So GLP-1, I want to tell you about this. I wasn't expecting to right off the bat, but why not? I want to talk about it. They have so many different materials and so many wonderful testimonials from you guys. It really is amazing. Okay, that was the wrong one.
Wombat 427 got the GLP-1 too.
All right.
I've been on it for 4 days.
Okay, so how do you feel? Tell us what you think. I can't figure out where it is. Where are the bejeebers? What's going on with me, you guys? All right, here we go. GLP-1. Brock, hold it up again for people to see. Take out one of the capsules. So cravings are not a willpower problem. They're often a hormone signaling problem. And one hormone called GLP-1 plays this major role in telling your brain you're full and helping control appetite. When that signal isn't working well, cravings stay really loud. I just had a bag of chips. Okay, so I'm with you. I just sucked down a bag of chips. I'm with you. And so you eat more or maybe things that you hadn't planned on. And this product from bloodflow7.com by Juvenon, you know how we feel about them, changes that. Okay.
It's
a regular capsule.
It's the same size as the Alpha Gold.
So it's interesting that we're talking about this because I was reading the Washington Times today, and they were saying that there's some controversy about whether or not morbidly obese children should be taking a GLP-1 shot and what the long-term effects will be. I think it's particularly about muscle mass. Joe was telling me that long-term use of these weight loss injections, the worry is your muscle mass is going to go away, and then you're just kind of like, bleh, right? And so the pediatric trials are underway right now. I'd be like, whoa, I don't think that's the route I want to take with my kids, but I would try GLP-1 from bloodflow7.com, Juvenon. And with my code, Wendy30, you save 30%. Look, none of these products is off the charts expensive at all. I think most of them are under $1 a day. And Brock's going to try it. GLP-1 Gold right now. It's a capsule version of helping you with your cravings and your weight. And I hope he will report back. You know, I'm doing my little regimen. I'm going to do something differently, but I love that you guys trust me. Thank you. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Love what they do. What's going on out there? Is everybody annoyed that the Democrats want us to lose all the time? That's kind of where we're going with this opening. I got 2 audio sound bites out of the gates for you guys here. I don't normally do this. 1, beg your pardon. 1.
Don't Don't scare me like that.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I was.
It would not have been your problem, so I would have had to have eaten it. That's all. I've made mistakes already today, so you're used to that. I'm glad you guys are here. Weird numbers, but we were number 7 yesterday, I think. Number 7. If you haven't hit the follow button, please do. Please do. You can even click on the notifications and make sure you don't get notified, but we only notify you possibly 7 times a week. That's it. That's it.
What's great is...
And if you don't like that, you can turn it off.
I know you guys... when you don't get promoted and you still finish in the leaderboard, that says a lot.
Well, yeah, you were saying, what's that Haley girl?
Yeah.
What about her? She's Dan Bongino's girl, and she finishes in the 20s. God bless her, you know?
Amen.
But she doesn't have you, and I do. Which is why we are striving to always come up with new sponsors for this show that I think you guys are going to like. There's one that could be upcoming. Brock was very excited about it. The red thing. A little pricey.
Little.
You might need a raise, babe.
I'll definitely need a raise.
You might need a raise.
You all heard it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home and good afternoon. This is the Wendy Bell radio program. It is common sense. And I tell you every day, I'm a conservative mom. I'm a former television news anchor and reporter. That was my job that I did for several decades. And I got this great opportunity to work with a wonderful friend of mine and to break away from what everybody else is doing, to get away from the mainstream media and to try to do something on our own. And here you are. And here we are. And we're coming together like peanut butter and chocolate because it makes sense, you guys. And what we're going to talk about today is not going to be complicated because it never is. Common sense needs to become more common. And if you're new and you want to follow along the live video stream, I hope you do. WendyBellRadio.com. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, what's interesting about having multiple children, and I don't think by any stretch I have a large family. I think maybe for today's standards, we would say it is. We have 5 boys. But my father-in-law was one of 14. My dad was one of 6. If you're one of the baby boomers out there, there's a really good chance you're part of a very large family. And now it's kind of common for people to have 1, maybe 2 or 3 kids. We have 5, and it's fun to watch them. But with 5 different personalities, all boys, you've got a lot of different things going on, a lot of different souls that I pay attention to, perhaps a lot more so than my husband, because that's what moms do. They're great friends, and I will say something that's very unusual about my boys. They're extraordinarily close. They range in age from 26 down to 17. And the 5 of them, if they're not talking commonly, they play video games together in different states. And my heart is happy because I hear them instead of going out on a Saturday night. My seniors in high school will stay home and play games with their oldest brothers. It's a thing to behold. But when something happens with one of them, or one of their paths doesn't work out the way they'd hoped or they'd wanted, it's hard because this is the way of life. It is how it works, after all. You and I are living testaments of that. And my kids have had a front row seat to all things with me. Different jobs, different challenges, different things to navigate. Joe's been the brick wall, been a doctor. He's always been consistent. It's what dad does. He always does the same thing. Doesn't change. And I've been all over the place, up and down and in and out, this and that, fired, rehired, fired again, rehired, fired again. And here we are today talking to you every day about what we believe is important. And sometimes I want to say to my sons, look, sometimes the universe sends you messages. Sometimes God comes into your life when you don't expect it. But I always say in 2 weeks, think about this. Give it 2 weeks. Whatever you think is so big, whatever you think is so disappointing, whatever has you not eating or not sleeping or pacing at night or feeling agitated, give it 2 weeks. Because you'll start to see there's a plan. I believe that. I had to be hit in the face a couple times with the frying pan to slow down and to realize those doorknobs I was trying to get into weren't working for a reason. And so I have 2 of my 5 sons right now, possibly even 3, who are walking up to a new challenge, a new chapter, a new possibility, a new something, and they don't know how to get in. They see the house. The door is locked. The windows have gates on them. They can't get through. And thinking about climbing up and over and down the chimney, it seems a little risky. And they're all kind of a little agitated in their own worlds. And I want to say to them, okay, this is how it goes, right? This is how life is. This is how you figure out things that don't happen for you today allowed other things in a week or 2 months or a year from now to happen. I mean, how many things that you thought were cataclysmic in your life ended up being for the better? How many of you had a relationship fail, whether it was a marriage brief or forever long? And for whatever reason, it didn't work and you decided to walk away or do something else, and you're crestfallen and you're empty inside and you're embarrassed and ashamed and confused. And then all of a sudden something makes sense. And you realize that if you hadn't had all of those experiences, you wouldn't be able to open the door with the key that you now hold, perhaps to a home you never imagined. I wish that for my sons. But this is the rocky time, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? I believe that God plays a role in everything we do. I'm not an extraordinarily religious person. I don't go to church anymore. Bad people changed that for me and ruined that for me. I'm okay with that. Because I believe you can be deeply connected to a spirit, to a higher being. You can be devoutly loyal and not go prove it to your neighbors. And I believe God is guiding all of these things going on in our world. And I know that a lot of you are struggling right now. And you can feel like he left you out. He's not listening to you. Things are tough. Hang in there. Because he always roots for you. The reason I see this and I say this is because I'm so tired of the people out there who are rooting against us. Why is it that the Democrats want America to fail? It's not just you failing. It's not just Donald Trump failing. It's not just this idea of MAGA, which demanded an America first American government, right? They want our country. They want the legacy of this great place to be of failure. Hakeem Jeffries saying, I think America's going to fail. This war isn't going to work. Donald Trump and this military aren't going to be successful. Can you imagine? The leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives doesn't love America, doesn't believe in her, does not believe in your ability, does not share your dreams, does not have any of that, doesn't look at the flag the way you do. Why on earth is that man in Congress? Why on earth do we allow people who are not for this herd, this team, this experiment, this great fledgling constitutional republic? If you're not for it, why are you here? And why are you in Congress? I want you to hear Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He was asked this very question, and you have to ask yourself, because the Democrats are against everything you're for. If you're a parent, they're against your ability to decide what's best for your child. If you go out and you hump it 40 hours a week, busting your tail, they're the ones who want to tax you more. These are the people who wanted to demonize you because you weren't ready to roll up your sleeve and plunge something into your body that you weren't comfortable with, and they vilified you. These are those people. And it makes me sick. But I do believe that God is ever present. And you are being shown a slideshow so that you know exactly what we're up against. Listen to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, asked specifically by a member of the media in the Pentagon yesterday. What about Hakeem Jeffries? Dude wants America to fail. What do you say, Mr. Secretary?
Jeffrey's statement that the Iran mission will end in failure. What kind of message does that send to our enemies, and what does it do to the motivation of our troops?
Well, I've been through that movie before, with the Democrats rooting against the country. Our generation saw that in our battlefields. I think it's pretty unprecedented and unfortunate that it would occur 4 days in to an operation where, as the chairman laid out, America's best are operating in an incredibly challenging environment where they're having incredible success, but they're meeting a determined adversary. And he's been privy to briefs that we've provided. He knows how effective this has been. He's being disingenuous, which we're used to right here.
A classy answer when I should say that dude shouldn't be in the House of Representatives. He shouldn't have the ability to put a lapel pin on that's an American flag when what he wants to do to it is drag it on the ground, urinate on it, and then light it on fire. Well, I got word for you, Hakeem, you hack. You endless zero, you feckless nothing who does nothing but bitch and moan and lie and obfuscate and distort and defend crazy. Donald Trump put out something last night. This is what he said. The United States munitions stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher or better. As was stated to me today, we have a virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever and very successfully using just these supplies, which are better than other countries' finest arms. At the highest end, we have a good supply, but are not where we want to be. Much additional high-grade weaponry is stored for us in outlying countries. Interesting. Sleepy Joe Biden spent all of his time and our country's money giving everything to P.T. Barnum, Zelensky of Ukraine, hundreds of billions of dollars worth. And while he gave so much of the super high end away for free, he did not bother to replace it. Fortunately, I built the military in my first term and continue to do so. The United States is stocked and ready to win big. Look, an endless supply of ammunition. Don't tell me that God wasn't all over Donald Trump coming down that escalator. Don't tell me he hasn't been all over him, dodging bullets, dodging the doubters, dodging the people who hate America. To my sons and to each of you who, as we do, are struggling some complicated times, don't ever lose hope or faith. Give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks and then try that doorknob again. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you got to hear Scott Jennings absolutely obliterate this news babe. She's such a hack, and you're going to love it. You deserve it. It's Hump Day next on the Wendy Bell radio program. All right, let's get to my fave right now. All right, so I have been spending kind of an inordinate amount of time on my ghost bed. I'm going to tell you one of the most wonderful things about this bed that I find. Yes, of course, this mattress is brand new. Just got it from ghostbed.com/Wendy. They're going to throw you in a discount here. Promo code for you. You're going to get an extra 10% off. And remember, they give you 101 nights to sleep on it and see what you think. I mean, how else are you supposed to know when you're buying a mattress online? You're like, I have absolutely no idea. Here's the thing. When you buy a mattress that's developed by a man with terrible back and neck pain, who's had surgeries, who's been to doctors, who's spent so many nights not sleeping, He builds a product that works. And this is not an off the charts expensive mattress line. It is lovely. And I find that no matter which way I sleep, no matter how I do it, wide armed or if I'm on my side or on my stomach or what have you, it holds you in comfortably with just the right amount of squish so you feel like you're on a cloud. That is my ghost bed experience. So if you're waking up stiff, you're tossing and turning, you're feeling horrible, and you're almost like, before I go to bed, I feel like I have to take an aspirin because I know I'm going to wake up feeling terrible. Why not try it? You've got nothing to lose. Ghostbed.com. This is my owner's guide. They send this. It tells you everything you need to know. This is how caring for your mattress, you know, you have to do 2 things to it. That's it. Okay. Check, please. Ghostbed.com, 10% off. And they have these mattresses down to the lowest prices of the season. There's a reason for the season, and it's to save you money. I got the hybrid. The hybrid is They have your Rolls Royce, and then they have the good economy model all the way up and down the line. And they're beautiful. And all of them do the same thing. Give you a beautiful night's sleep. It's a special product. I think you're going to like it. So I guess people like tulip bloom. Bzz. Tulip blooms. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. I love that.
I didn't get any today.
Well, your ears should have been burning last night.
Why?
Because I was talking about you to the owner of the company.
Oh.
I didn't get any. Me.
I mean, today just for my hands.
Oh, right.
Did you put some on before the show?
I sure did. You said you weren't ready. You had stuff to do. Okay, fine, whatever. You do you.
I did brag to Kate how soft my hands were.
They're fantastic. Hey, let's get to 2,000. The 600 people to go to hit the thumbs up button underneath the video. That would be huge. And hit follow. We are still struggling to get to 100,000, but we're going to do it. It's going to take a while. But I'm in it to win it, baby. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program, has literally forced Democrats to show us all in slideshow fashion their allegiances, because it's never with we the people. It's never us. It's never this idea that we're together. It's never this thing that we're Americans, and as Americans, the sky's the limit. If we would just stop squawking and fighting each other and believing people who suck, who really have never told us the truth and don't deserve our attention, imagine what we could achieve together. But these landmines, the Democrats, are all over the place, and now Trump has forced them with this offensive to support the Iranian mullahs and the Ayatollah and the members of his council and his supreme leadership and all of these. Do they not realize some of the god-awful things that have been going on in Iran? No, they don't. You know why? Because their mouthpiece, the media, don't tell them. And so if Trump is for it, they have to be against it to this degree where you do have a mental illness diagnosis called Trump derangement. Now, you're going to hear it right now as Scott Jennings on CNN is just basically saying, look, here's the deal. This was a necessary offensive. It was swift. It has been successful. This is an awe-inspiring attempt to rid the world of the most terroristic killer that we've seen, likely in our generation. This is the exchange, how Abby Phillip, the host of the program, interrupts him and tries to gaslight him by suggesting that Donald Trump and Marco Rubio falsely cited some Iranian ballistic missile threat to the homeland as justification for this operation. No, he's a terrorist. He wants to kill people. He chants death to America every single day. They've killed Americans. They lined up and killed 35,000 people just recently. What more do you need to know, Ab? There you go.
look, the bottom line is they don't want them to have ballistic missiles. They don't want them to have a nuclear program. They don't like that their Navy makes trouble for everybody in the Gulf. And that is the stated rationale. You could throw on other things. For the last 47 years, they have killed American troops. They've maimed American personnel. They've exported and funded terror around the world and around the region. And you seem to be suggesting we have no allies in this. I watched the president with the Chancellor of Germany today. He strongly supports what we're doing. The UK is feckless. Spain is feckless. But we have plenty of allies in the region and around the world who know we have done the right thing.
So to be clear, I just want to you just listed a bunch of things. None of them were an imminent attack. But Rita's question is actually
ballistic
about
missiles, Abby.
No,
drones. These are imminent attack weapons.
What proof is there that there were ballistic missiles, that they actually had ballistic missiles that could reach the United States?
Reach U.S. bases. Look at your television. They're falling right now.
Iran has been attacking through their proxies U.S. military bases for some time now. Okay.
You want to keep that going, or
the argument that the administration may be making sometimes is that they might have had capabilities to attack the United States on the homeland. Where is the proof of that?
And U.S. intelligence that has been released has said that this was not at all
on our
Defense
facilities
Intelligence
in the
Agency.
region and our allies in the region.
Okay, so
it is not
what
in
about
dispute.
that? What about
What
about that is new?
What do you mean? What about it? It's not new. Other than to
what
say,
about that is new?
Other than to say that the decision.
What about, yes? Let me put it another way. What about that is imminent?
Are you all? Are you all arguing that they are not? Were not prepared and are not currently firing missiles and drones into things?
Actually, it's not that. I mean, everybody understands the threat of Iran. It's been there, to quote Tom Cotton, for 47 years.
Yeah.
The question is, what changed in the last 30 days?
We got a president that had the
what
balls
changed
to take
in the
care
last
of it?
30
I guess
days? That's the question.
You know what? Does Abby Phillip want to find out after we're attacked? What is she even talking about? Well, Abby, I've got somebody who's going to explain it to you. Don't take it from me. I'm not Iranian. I don't have extensive knowledge about the Middle East. I have a brain. But this is an Iranian woman who says, all of you who are defending Iran, are you out of your mind? You should probably shut your mouths.
I am an Iranian who lives in Tehran, and I can hear the sound of bombing outside. In case I'm dead tomorrow, I just want you to remember this. Please, shut up and don't use me against America or Israel to try and convince them to stop. We asked for this. We want this attack. And I know that you don't want to listen to us. You don't want to listen, but I'm going to give you the shorter version of why we want this. The reason is we had one option: to go and protest this bloody regime, and we did, and they killed 40,000 of us in 2 days. This is the last option we have. We asked for the help, and the help is here. And I know I might die, and I don't care, because I'm willing to sacrifice my life for Iran. And you just shut up and don't use me to attack anyone or try to stop this. We want this. You don't understand. You're not in our shoes, so shut up. That was a message from one of our Iranian sisters, and she asked me to share this with you. So shut up. Yeah, if you don't want to support us, just shut up.
Just stop talking. Again, Abby, President Trump says we have more than enough ammunition to fight forever. The question is, who's the bigger enemy? Iran, that hates America, or you, who hates America? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, night-night, Jasmine. See you later, Crenshaw. Oh, yeah, results from the Texas primary coming up next. Interesting stuff on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right. So I'm super excited. This is what we have launched. This is our new sponsor alert. I'm very excited about it. Do you want me to hit you with it right now? He does.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah. I thought she was talking about the new sponsor. I thought you were talking about the new sponsor, but I'll take some of that. Yeah, I'll question. You guys can all question my manhood. Go ahead and question away. I didn't get much, but I'll take what I can get.
I'm sorry. You could have said so.
Well, I don't
Well,
want to
come
be
back
greedy.
in and get another.
You go. I don't want to be greedy.
All right, so this is what we're talking about. This is a product that I have just recently fallen in love with, but I have very much enjoyed the products from this company, Tulip Blooms. And they're knocking off 10%, I believe, of the cost. Here's Brock. He's coming in for another hit. Really? Oh, now you didn't need that much. Go away. I'm having a go away party for Brock. So this is the product. So it's called massage oil. It's their velour, and I think velour is a really smart word for it because it's all about the glide. So it's like it's supposed to be massage oil. I put it on my hands and my feet. I put it anywhere, and here's what it does. It's an oil, so it soaks in your hands, but it doesn't leave you greasy. It doesn't leave smear marks all over your stuff, and it doesn't like get into your clothing or anything. It absorbs right in, and then dry cuticles. If you have really dry cuticles and you're like, oh, it's so bad, it completely clears that up. It softens them without being greasy, and you feel it all day long. It's right on there, and it feels beautiful. It is not expensive if you are in the world of oils or body butters or balms or what have you. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Okay? I could tell you about this company. I love it. It's a mom and pop. It's a young couple with young kids. And the wife has knowledge of all of this formulation stuff. And she's constantly like adding new things. Oh, I want to tackle this because she uses it on her body. And she's like, if I love it, I think you're going to love it. Well, she's right. Ashley, I can tell you you're right. This is a seller. This is a winner. This is my fave. And there's a lot there. So check it out. This is the velour massage oil. If you go to tulipblooms.shop/Wendy, go to the Soothe tab and drop it down and you'll find it there. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm very excited to have them, and I look forward to sharing more of their products with you, but I think you're really going to like this one. We'll do a couple weeks on this one. I think you'll like it. How's that feel? Like butter? It's true, though. You don't want to get greasy. You know, you don't want to be like, can't touch my phone now. Well,
I'll be honest.
It totally dissipates, but it gives you the effects of the oil, which is great.
Darius is trying to be funny and say Brock's Manny Penny Fund.
Oh, yeah. Done.
This is...
Bring it. Right?
Well, to be honest, this is how my feet feel after a pedicure.
Yes. Right?
Real soft, like you don't want to put socks on.
I think you should get some.
Yeah.
Now, Darius is very particular. He is extraordinarily neat. I've been in his car. It is immaculate. He is extraordinarily groomed. Darius, you would love it. You would love it, and your skin would love it.
You can get me a man purse. I'll keep my tulip blooms in it. Whatever.
A merce?
Yeah, I got a purse. I carry around 3 laptops and an iPad every day.
A purse. I love it.
I'll gladly take it.
Well, you're going to get a special little delivery.
Is going back to your monologue, because we were talking about it this morning. I thought about it and I said to you, well, if I would have gotten this one job when I was 27, it was a network radio gig, I would have not met you. But then I thought about it more after we hung up. I said, I wouldn't have met my best friend. I wouldn't have met Dr. Mike. Like all these, and these are 2 men who've changed my life for the better. Taught me so much, not just business, but being a good human. You can succeed and be a good human being at the same time. But and then I lost another job, but that job wouldn't, if I had taken that job, I would not have met you. So my break came at 45.
You know, I want to tell my kids, there's a reason why what you want to do right now isn't what the universe is telling you need to be doing right now. And you'll see the path.
And you'll probably be better off for it.
The door will open up and it'll make sense to you. It'll make sense to you. You have to be wounded for a little while because it's an ego blow. when you want something, it doesn't work out. It's hard. It just means there's something else that's calling your name. You just gotta hear it, right? It's hard when you're in it. It's hard when you're in it. And it's hard when you're young.
No doubt.
It's hard when you're young. I remember being like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, nothing's happening. You know, if I hadn't gotten...
If you hadn't gotten fired, you never met me.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Brock and I are sitting here in the early morning hours discussing the show today. And I think we both kind of went back over things in our lives that if things hadn't disappointed us, if we hadn't been told no, if the opportunity hadn't slammed its door in our faces, we wouldn't have regrouped and found a workaround and done something different. And figured out, like, I think about that all the time. I think about what I was able to do. 2016, fired from a job as a television news anchor and reporter, right? What are you honestly trained to do in that capacity? What other job has that level of stature, which you're used to, that also has that level of compensation? It doesn't exist. And so what do people do? Well, they go into PR. Or they do other things. Well, I happen to be in a great position where I got to create videos just on Facebook under some label, positively Wendy Bell. That was who I was, and I started doing videos. And I started paying attention to when the videos got the most attention and when they didn't. And over time, I realized that it was on Thursdays at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I called it Video Thursday. This is what we're doing. Every Thursday, I'm going to drop a video. And I got hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of views. I wasn't getting paid for anything, but I was communicating with people. And I was talking about what I thought was going on in the world. And I was connecting with you. And you responded to me. And you shared so much of yourself with me. And if it wasn't for that, and how many of you listening to me right now remember that? Because you were back there in that day. If that hadn't happened to me and I hadn't tried these things, I hadn't paid attention, I hadn't spitballed and tried to reinvent something, right? I never would have stumbled into the world of radio or to podcasting. I would have had no idea. As it stands now, I'm light years ahead of the people in my industry who are now just getting fired or laid off because television isn't as profitable as it used to be. People don't trust it anymore, and our habits have changed. Nobody's coming home at night every night, as we did when we were growing up, to sit down before the television and catch the evening news. We did it as a ritual as kids in my house. Nobody does that anymore. And these news industries that haven't been forced to actually pay attention to what's coming down the road and to adjust and be malleable and spitball and try things out, they're screwed. If you haven't been doing what we've been doing, if you haven't been talking to people and connecting with people and podcasting and putting yourself out there, you're already 10 years behind. I want to say that to my kids, right? You're on the cusp. You guys are in this really great environment that feels terrible, but industries are changing. The fields they're going into are cataclysmically changing. Jack wants to go into movies. Well, movies are a whole different thing right now. They're changing. AI, what's that going to be like? Nobody knows. You've got all of these various companies that are merging, Paramount, Skydance, and all these other things. What's going to happen? Warner Brothers. I got a kid, Ryan, who wants to be an orthodontist. But you know what? Are you going to need to go to the orthodontist anymore with artificial intelligence? Are you going to be able to go online, take a scan of your teeth, and have it give you some 3D model, whatever it is, of your own Invisalign, and you can treat yourself? Possibly. He's going to be on the cusp of that. My oldest son, Michael, is trying to figure out, as he has grown my social media presence in a couple of years to over 250,000 followers, probably more like 300,000. Well, what does he do with that? I'm his prototype. What are you going to do with it? Who are you going to go connect with? Because businesses all over the planet want somebody who knows the secret sauce algorithm, right? This is the conundrum facing our country right now. And we saw it play out in these primaries yesterday. There's North Carolina. We're not really going to talk about much in North Carolina. No offense to those of you who live there. But this whole Texas thing is very interesting because you have candidates who are like, wait a minute. I see what this president is doing. He's doing right now the same thing that my sons are going through. He's reimagining America's place on the world stage. And he's saying, look, we deserve to be here. And we're going to do these things because of the ingenuity and the stellar abilities of the greatest people on planet Earth. We're going to market that. And if you want to be a part of that, that's fantastic. But you're either going to have to pay to sell your stuff here and be a part of it, or you're going to have to build your stuff here. That's the way it's going to go. But if you do that, sky is the limit. What do you want to be? You want to be in or you want to be out? These candidates in Texas are in that same conundrum. You have Ken Paxton, who's the attorney general, who's been smeared and dragged over the coals, a nasty divorce, all of these wild allegations that didn't stick the landing, all to demean and diminish and somehow stain a Donald Trump ally. Now, Donald Trump hasn't endorsed Ken Paxton to take over to run against John Cornyn, who is a rhino, who is a zero, who is proven to be a zero. And then this machine of deep state money, rhino Republican and deep state money, funds tens of millions of dollars into John Cornyn's reelection campaign. As you've got Ken Paxton saying, you know what? I think I'd be a damn good attorney. I think I'd be a damn good senator because I've been a damn good attorney general. I follow the law. I believe in America and I root for her success. Unlike freaking Hakeem Jeffries, who said yesterday he thinks America is going to lose. Right? Do you guys remember the flack that Barack Obama got, or rather that Rush Limbaugh got when he came out after Barack Obama won and he said, I hope he fails. And people howled. You racist. You're saying you hope America's first black president fails, is a failure? He's like, no, I hope what he wants to do fails, because what he wants to do is decidedly un-American, and it's absolutely bad for the future of this country. Period. He was unabashed, Rush was. But of course, the knives were out. It's different wanting somebody who you believe is dangerous to fail. It's another thing to root against your country. And that's disgusting. Let's get to some of these results. I want you to hear from Ken Paxton. All right, let me get you this runoff situation. So you've got the deep state, you've got the machine dumping tens of millions of dollars into Cornyn's reelection bid here to win this primary. He and Paxton get close together. There's now going to be a runoff May 26th. What is going to happen between now and then? Well, what you're going to see is a hell of a lot of money getting wasted on something where John Cornyn, if he had half of a brain, would step aside and allow somebody who's more aligned with the American First MAGA agenda to step in. John Cornyn, you've worked there long enough, bro. It's time to move along. You've expired. No. He's a valuable asset to the deep state. They can count on him. And so now what are we going to see? More millions of dollars wasted between now and this runoff in May, right? Ken Paxton had something to say about his eking out this win, but listen, if they couldn't take him out with all of the allegations when he was in Texas, as the attorney general, come on, listen.
I think John spent $100 million. What a waste of money. That money should have been going to Republicans in other states, not fighting another Republican. It doesn't make any sense unless the idea here is to protect incumbency and not Republicans. This is not the way to go. Hopefully they'll stop that spending and start using it in places where we're using it against the Democrats and not fellow Republicans.
Okay, and so also what's going to happen now? Who is Trump going to endorse? Is he going to endorse anyone? I'll be very disappointed if he endorses John Cornyn. But again, I think Donald Trump is 9 steps ahead of us. I have a very difficult time criticizing what he does because it works out. It's almost like he knows, right? Meantime, State Representative James Tallarico toppled Jasmine Crockett in Texas Democrat Senate primary And now, as it just so happens, Jasmine Crockett is an election denier. She's crying foul. She's like, well, wait a minute. Things changed in the last hour and people didn't know where they could go. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally behind our nominees and win, Jasmine Crockett said on social media after conceding the primary to James Tallarico. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. She's saying, please, left, please, machine, don't forget about me. There's got to be somewhere I can land. James Tallarico securing that victory over Crockett in the primary for U.S. Senate Tuesday, overturning weeks of polling, right? Weeks of polling that had shown the Dallas Congresswoman with a significant advantage in the race. Oh my, it's almost like you can't believe the polls. It's so weird. It's almost like we've talked about that, right? And so she says, well, I don't believe this. I blame Republicans for making it harder for my people to vote. It was the most obnoxious thing ever. Then you've got Mark Teixeira. He's also, I mean, this is just a great story. He wins the Republican primary to replace Chip Roy, who's running for Ken Paxton's old job as Texas Attorney General. This is getting better and better. And Teixeira, isn't that how you say his name, Brock?
It is. He's a baseball player for Texas Rangers.
Absolutely right. Retired professional baseball player. Mark Teixeira is projected to win, did win. The Republican primary in Texas is, what was that, 21st Congressional District, defeating a crowded GOP field in the race to succeed Chip Roy, who's running for Attorney General. That position is being vacated by Ken Paxton, who is challenging incumbent Senator John Cornyn. My, what a tangled web we are all a part of now. Where is Trump going to go? What do you think? I don't know, but he's a 3-time MLB All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2009 World Series champion with the New York Yankees, and he's a young dude. And Trump endorsed Teixeira last month, calling the former first baseman a total winner on and off the field. My suspicion right now is Trump is probably waiting to see how people feel about Ken Paxton, right? How is it going to shake out? He's going to hear some things. He's going to have his pulse on it, his fingers on the pulse of that. I hope Trump endorses Ken Paxton. One of the people who, such a shame to see pack their bags is Dan Crenshaw. He loses his Texas GOP primary to State Representative Steve Toth in a double-digit upset. See, if you allow the people to choose, if you don't believe the polls, if you turn off the television and the media bullcrap, if you trust your common sense and you do your research, this is not complicated. This is more than Republican versus Democrat. This is a fight for the survival of this country. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Operation Epic Fury is about, I'm saying it more than more, it's about total obliteration, complete destruction. Make no mistake about it, 50,000 troops heading to the Middle East. We've got the update next. Okay. So, bloodflow7.com. I talk about it all the time. This is my Juvenon Bloodflow 7. I talked about it with a young woman at the gym. She's a very fit young woman. She's thinner than I, weighs less than I, and has a really hard time with stamina, especially when it comes to core strength. So she's doing anything that has to do with the abdominal muscles, she's gassed, and it absolutely destroys her. And I know she's super frustrated by it. She's like, I'm fit. I'm a competitive pickleball player. I'm strong. I can do that. But when it comes to planking on a big ball and, going like this with my arm, she's like, I'm gassed. And I was like, look, I don't mean to be a commercial, but I'm going to do you a solid. Bloodflow7.com/money. I'm like the person who pops out of your gym bag and is like, hey, have you heard about this? And I said to her, I'm like, look, go to bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I'm not kidding. Get 1 month. Use the code Wendy30. Get 30% off. It's not expensive anyway, but it's nice to get free shipping out of that. And that's essentially what it is. Try it for a month. See what changes, and then call me and tell me how much you love me. I got a few of those. Hold on. People who love me. You ready? I can't actually say that. I was sort of...
They love the product.
I was summarizing, yes. Hey, Wendy, I've been taking Blood Flow 7 since last summer. It's changed my life. I'm 63 and now have more energy and ability to complete tasks than when I was 30, and I sleep like a boulder. Hey, Wendy, I just wanted to give you a little testimonial about Blood Flow 7 and what it's done for me. I've been fighting some problems in my neck, which basically have to do with no discs left in my neck, waiting to have surgery that will give me the feelings back in my hands and my feet and basically my whole left side. How awful. I've been fighting this for about a year now, and it has weakened me so much, all the while trying to work to keep my insurance so I can get the help I need. I started taking Blood Flow probably about 6 months ago. The supplement has been a game changer for me. It gives me the energy I need to get through the day. I definitely notice it when I don't take it. Therefore, I make sure that does not happen. It's the least expensive thing that is helping me the most out of all the pharmaceutical things that I'm taking. It's not pharma, which is good. It is a supplement, and it's not from drugs. By the way, I'm 56. I have twin boys like you, so I feel like we have a lot in common. I'm so thankful I found out about this. From listening to you, I can truly say I love you and Brock. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. All right, because they also sent me something else.
What?
I'm going to start using it. Look at this. Nitric oxide booster.
I'm not even gonna say it.
What?
Not even going to say it.
Here's the deal. I'll put this scoop in your drink and my drink. We're both drinking Dr. Gundry.
Oh, it's a powder.
It's a powder. Yes. Open it up. I love this company. So anyway, I'm sure there's a much easier way to do this, and I'm presently doing it.
I think I know why Trump didn't endorse.
Mm.
Who do you endorse? You'd take Paxton or Wesley Hunt, but you still need Cornyn to be on your side until he loses.
Yes.
Ooh, is it flavored?
Oh, it smells good. It is. Dietary supplement helps maintain healthy blood pressure, supercharged energy and stamina, power up workouts, boost circulation to legs and feet. What? Yeah, it has a flavor, but it doesn't tell me what it is. Let's see. 2 grams of carbs, 10 calories.
I might have to replace my job.
Nitrosygene, yes. I'm telling you, I'm cooking in here, baby. Well, we got to talk a little bit about Spain. Spain and their, Spanish Socialist Workers' Party Prime Minister. Not in the good graces of President Trump. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Let's talk a little bit about Operation Epic Fury. We're getting updates day by day. This is from the New York Post. And then President Trump said something very interesting yesterday as he was in the Oval Office. And I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. U.S. hits nearly 2,000 Iranian targets in first 100 hours of Operation Epic Fury. Officials warn strikes will continue from seabed to space and cyberspace. More than 50,000 American troops have been deployed as part of the largest military buildup in the Middle East in a generation. This is according to U.S. Navy Admiral Brad Cooper. By order of this President of the United States and Secretary of War, our military in the Middle East has undertaken an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans as they've been doing for nearly a half a century. Hey, Abby Phillip, maybe if you paid attention, you could learn something. Well, what's the proof? I don't know. Do you want to go through 47 years of what these people have done, Abby? So the U.S. has deployed more than 50,000 troops, along with 200 fighter jets, 2 aircraft carriers, and an undisclosed number of bombers. We know the USS Abraham Lincoln is poised and parked right there by the Strait of Hormuz if Iran wants to get funny with the transport of vessels and oil through the strait. I want you to hear President Trump, though. Spain Well, they effed around and they found out. And the story was that Trump wanted to use some airstrips in Spain for the military to refuel, regroup, etc. And Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, said, no, we're not interested, which led to this comment from the president sitting next to the Chancellor of Germany in the Oval Office yesterday.
Everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody, and Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told him we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
You are now non grata. Now, this Navy admiral, let's see who this fellow was again. Cooper, let's see. U.S. Navy Admiral Brad Cooper. He said, many of you may remember the shock and awe of the strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were literally doubled that scale. We continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace, with nearly 2,000 targets struck in Iran in the first 100 hours. Cooper said the U.S. has severely diminished Iranian air defenses and destroyed hundreds of ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. What kind of threat, what kind of proof of an imminent threat was there? Challenged Abby Phillip, an American hater. That's all I can deduce from her commentary. She is relentlessly ignorant. American forces have also utilized various bombers, including B-2s, B-1s, B-52s, with operations deep inside Iran, at least 17 Iranian ships now, and a submarine were struck by the United States. We're also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy thus far, Cooper said. No Iranian-flagged ships have been located in the waters of the Middle East after the operation was launched. We will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We are hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers to eliminate what I would characterize is their lingering launch capability. See, this is called neutering. This is called obliterating the threads of regrowth. This is excising the cancer so there is no festering regrowth that comes up. They got to pay close attention to this Ayatollah's son, because he's being looked at, obviously, handpicked as perhaps the next leader, the next supreme leader. There is nothing like a child of someone killed to take the reins of vengeance and hate to new mind-blowing limits. I'm not so sure he's going to make it. We will see. So that is what is going on. You've got the left decrying everything that Donald Trump and this administration are doing. You've got the leader of the Democratic Party in the House saying that he thinks that America is going to lose. I should remind you, by the way, that the veterans out there who are registered Democrats, these are the people that you vote for, people who hate America. How do you feel about that? When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program, President Trump gives China the squeeze. Peter Schweizer, he is so bright. He's written so many books about China. Great insight next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I love that our friend with the essential tremor, I mean, it's so much more than that. It wasn't just essential tremor. It was a mind, it was a physically debilitating issue that she dragged around with her for like 40 years. Imagine that. Shaking so much that everybody thinks you obviously must have Parkinson's, or some neurological whatever. And she's like, look, I'm perfectly with it. I just can't stop this. And I know it bothered her for a long, long time. And so when we reached out to Dr. Simkovich of the Simkovich Concussion Institute, and I'm like, look, I don't know if this is your wheelhouse. Who have no idea if this is going to work or not, but wouldn't you see our friend? And so we did. Today, she was there for her third of 4 follow-up visits. And I'm going to get a debrief, hopefully, on the way home today to hear how it went and how she feels. She is ever grateful that Dr. Simkovich was able to reduce her shaking, her tremors. She says by about 75%. We were hopeful for 20%, maybe like a half. You'd be like, wow, that would be so big. 75%. Like if it has to do with your brain, you've got to call Dr. Simkovich, 412-366-3700. He heals people. Can you imagine that being on your business card? Like, what do I put there? Talk show host. He's like, I heal people. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. All right, so that was the first hour. Aren't you guys excited about this? I am. Based on what I know about what blood flow has done for me, like, so great. All right. How are we with Rumbles? I'm going to guess not 2,000 yet, and I'm going to be very upset. Oh, close. 60. Can we get 60 people to click it before Brock gets back from the pate? That would be dandy. Dandy. Thank you, guys. What's up with Tucker Carlson? Anybody? He's like against this operation. It's like, okay, I'm going to go with, I believe what this president knows. I'm going to believe his intel briefings. I'm going to believe it. It's not like George Bush, right? And Colin Powell and weapons of mass destruction and all of that embarrassing nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with what's his face, Tucker Carlson. But it's sort of like, it's almost like it's for, yeah, I don't know, Darius. It sounds like he is losing it. He's so bright, but, I have to be honest with you. I've never paid attention to his podcast. I've never listened to Dan Bongino's podcast. But he should totally listen to mine. I'm kidding. It's just so bizarre. And what's up with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Well, I mean, we could ask the same question. Yes, it's good. Yeah, going the way of Candace Owens. Yeah, kind of. I've never really paid attention to her either, which is interesting. It's kind of hard as a host. You don't want to get influenced by what other people say. So I don't really pay attention to what they say. But I do watch the headlines that come out about them. And I'm like, well, that's curious. Let's see. They all lost it. But why? Why? What is it? What causes people? Is it... I don't know, Brock, like, what is it? Where I asked them this question, what is it about Tucker Carlson or any of these people who seem to be like going on a deeper end, like off the deep end? I'm like, what's happening?
Tulsi stole my thunder. He said Tucker's playing into the younger trend to not trust anyone. I agree 100% with that statement.
That's pretty sage, right?
100%. Because Tucker can keep people like me who are very skeptical of everything, but are willing to still say, I think he's kind of gone off the deep end on this part, but the younger people, I agree. They don't trust anything between their entire lives being a lie to them from their government to AI. How do you believe things?
I mean, Joe showing me something. He's like, did you see that Sidney Crosby, like I said, was Sidney Crosby was on with The View? And Jack was like, that was fake.
Mm-hmm.
That's AI. And Joe was like, oh. And it's true, because you're like, I don't even want to read anything anymore. I don't know what to believe. Because you know what I'm going to have to be? You're going to have to be able to correct me in real time. And I'm going to have to be like, oh, okay. Sorry. Right? You have to address it right away, because I don't know. I don't know. Common sense tells me a lot of this stuff, but. So Tucker,
but it's only going to get better. That's the scary part.
Yeah, like it's going to get more convincing. You mean?
Yeah. This is because I mean, just look at X. You type into Grok, draw me a picture of whatever, and it does. And it
is that what you do to get the thumbnail today?
Sometimes.
So draw me a picture of Marco Rubio with...
I said, draw me a cartoon of Marco Rubio at a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took out Marco Rubio and got rid of the background that they put in there, and then built my own background.
Oh, don't act like you want some kind of a raise or something. Like, whatever. It's part of your job. Right? Listen to him. And then I took out the trash. Emptied the dishwasher.
I did that.
I folded the laundry.
Did that.
Took out food for dinner.
I didn't do that.
I know. I brought you something. We're going to give it a shot. You want to show it?
Oh, this.
Yeah. So this company is thinking about advertising with us. And so we were like, all right, freeze-dried hamburger patties. Okay, I was like, I don't really think our people are big preppers. And
Ask her what she kept.
And I kept the steaks and the eggs. So literally, it's a bag of like hard-looking, fluffy eggs. And I was like, all you have to do is add water. I cannot wait. We're gonna make the steaks tonight. You're gonna make some burgers. I had
Do I have to make them tonight?
No, but I want to see because I want to be able to tell them yay or nay. Because she's like, look, a lot of people don't want, food for 25 years from now. That's like, I don't know, mess slop. They want actual cuisine. And I'm like, this is actual cuisine. And she's like, yes, you can get blueberries. And I'm like, blueberries? They can reconstitute blueberries?
Oh, you put them in a smoothie? I bet they're
right?
really good.
I mean, it's off the charts. I started reading some of this stuff and I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
If you don't use your newfound power, it simply evaporates. It degrades. What's the point? It doesn't grow because nobody becomes afraid of you because you're not using your power. The Democrats invested in Obamacare to the expense of losing the presidency in the House and the Senate. Their return on this is the creation of the belief in the minds of the public that only the government can run things in exchange for this huge leap forward in their agenda. The Republicans simply don't do anything like this. The Republicans, whether they win or lose, are not trying to advance it. That's why Trump was the nominee, and that's why Trump is elected president. The Republican Party used to be the opposition of the Democrats, and it used to be the small government, small taxes, individual liberty party. That's what it was known for. Even before you began talking about conservatism, that's what the party was known for. It's been a long time.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. The title of today's overarching theme, if we were to kind of encapsulate some stamp on it that says something to me, I would go back to what the president said in the Oval Office. We have enough ammo to fight forever. Who wants to play? Because we're not going to lose. We will outlast you. I guarantee it. President Trump projected that to the rest of the world. But I think that same message is resonating here inside of our country. For Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, the leading Democrat, the guy that Nancy Pelosi, who is the biggest wretch of all, anointed the new heir apparent, he says exactly what the Ayatollah always said, and that the U.S. should not be. He said the U.S. was going to lose. And Hakeem Jeffries has also said, you know what? America shouldn't be the policeman of the world. That is rich. You're the ones who want never-ending wars. It's the greatest grift in the world. If we could be at war with somebody forever, you wouldn't need the COVID grift. You wouldn't need the Medicaid fraud. You wouldn't need all the autism centers. You wouldn't need the hospice nonsense going on in Los Angeles, right? You wouldn't need what's going on in New York City that Mehmet Oz is now investigating. Because war is the ultimate grift. It's the ultimate money funneler. Sign here. Send billions of dollars to so-and-so and such, and nobody ever follows it. Hell, they're not even following it in Minneapolis. What makes you think they're following it in Washington, D.C.? But I want to say this to the military or to the veterans. So you have a choice every single time you vote, right? And if you're one of the 37% of America's military veterans who identifies or registers as Democrat, I got news for you. These people don't like you. They don't appreciate you. They don't honor you. They spit in your face every single time they say something stupid like America's gonna lose. 37% of 16.2 million veterans in this country. 73% of our veterans vote. So I did the math, which, you know, for me as a journalist and a writer, ain't my strong suit. I found out 37% of the 73 million American veterans who vote Democrat, that's 4.36 million former U.S. service members. Why would you ever vote Democrat? Why? Do these people care about the safety of this country? Because they're walking away from the Department of Homeland Security being unfunded. They're walking away during a war from FEMA, from the very agents whose job is to keep us safe from foreign enemies. Yes. And Democrats are going to walk away and say, well, you know what? Good luck. Why on earth would you vote for people who do that? 4.36 million American veterans are Democrat. Why? Ever? All right, let's talk about this, because this is one of those things. Peter Schweitzer, he is phenomenal. He is the president. He is an author, and he's the president of the Government Accountability Institute. And he's been all over like China, like white on rice. And he says, look, China armed Iran with advanced missiles. To Abby Phillip, who's going to say, what kind of proof do you have that they have lots of missiles? Well, China gave it to them. He armed them with advanced missiles. Every warhead carries Chinese components, the guidance systems, the propellant chemistry, the technical expertise. Donald Trump is destroying the entire operation, right? China provided air defense systems to Iran. U.S. and Israeli strikes destroyed them. China invested $100 billion in Iranian infrastructure. Those investments are now gone. Iran and Venezuela supplied 20% of China's oil at discount prices. Trump eliminated both sources. China paid in yuan to avoid U.S. dollars, and now Beijing must buy all of its oil with American currency. 40% of Chinese oil flows through, the Strait of Hormuz, and Donald Trump now controls that choke point. Here's Peter Schweitzer on last night. He says, look, they've invested billions to help Iran with this air defense system in exchange for cheap oil. Well, it's game over. The system has been destroyed. The whole system. Listen.
Donald Trump not only reshuffled the deck, he's laid the cards out for the players, and China now has a terrible hand. Think about this. China provided them their most advanced air defense systems to Iran, totally decimated by the United States and the Israelis. China's invested more than $100 billion in Iran, in industrial energy projects, etc., much of that in loans to the Iranian government. They're not going to get that back. With both Venezuela and Iran, Donald Trump has effectively taken 20% of China's oil supply and reshuffled it. And here's the thing to remember. They were buying that oil as a discount because both Iran and Venezuela are sanctioned, and they were able to buy it not with U.S. dollars. One of their big goals has been to move away from the U.S. being the global currency. They're now going to have to go back into the global oil market and buy things with U.S. dollars. So this is a disaster for China on multiple stages, and Donald Trump has shifted the discussion that he's going to have with President Xi when they meet in China almost entirely.
And think about this. Beijing wanted to move on Taiwan. Any military action now creates an energy crisis. The Strait of Hormuz becomes the kill switch. That's why it's so important. You remember 2020. China threatened to withhold PPE during COVID. You remember the rare earth minerals, the threats. Trump reversed all of their leverage. And this is interesting for Abby Phillip if she wants to be educated. Hudson Institute data shows Chinese components accelerated Iranian production to 5,000 missiles by the year 2027. Projections show 10,000 by 2030. These are precision weapons that strike targets across the Middle East. You want to talk about an imminent threat, Abby? Do you want to wait until the threat is ready to bomb your children and grandchildren into oblivion? Do you not realize that your resisting of Trump puts this entire country in danger because Peter Schweizer does?
40% of China's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. That's why when the Iranians were saying they were going to shut it, the Chinese were saying, no, we want it to be open. So he now has massive leverage over China. A move on Taiwan would be disastrous for Beijing. And let's keep in mind, Donald Trump remembers in 2020 what the Chinese did during COVID, when they told him, stop talking about COVID coming from us, or we're going to stop providing you with PPE supplies. And what they told him earlier in this administration about rare earths. He's now switched the conversation completely to his advantage. It was a brilliant move.
Amen. Can we talk a little bit about how scary Israeli intelligence is? Because it is. Israel bombs Iran's top mullahs after they count votes for the next supreme leader. I mean, this brief article by the New York Post, holy moly. The Israeli Air Force struck a top Iranian meeting Wednesday where Tehran's senior clerics had gathered to select a replacement for slain Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. According to multiple reports, and the Assembly of Experts, it's what it's called, a body made up of about 88 members, was allegedly together in one area when an airstrike hit their building overnight, the Times of Israel reported. The strike came just as the mullahs were counting the votes to appoint the next supreme leader. Following the attack, Iran's semi-official news agency claimed that the building was an old structure that was no longer used by the assembly for its meetings. But hours after the strike occurred, the assembly allegedly named the Ayatollah's son, the 56-year-old, as his successor. That's going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. Nothing like a son scorned to avenge the murder of his father. And that should alarm everyone. This had to happen, or else they would have ultimately attacked us. In their religious lens, that's not just justifiable. That is duty. Death to America, death to Israel. Abby Phillip, if you're listening. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, flushing out the deep state. So you're going to hear Bill Maloogian from Fox ask Hakeem Jeffries a very simple question that Hakeem Jeffries is not able to answer because he is an actor. He is a Joe Biden almost. And I'll prove it to you. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, so what I've learned, and I was never a supplement person. I was never a medicine taker. I've never been, aside from having headaches and needing to take an Advil here and there, I'm not a pill popper. I've never really looked into supplements. And then I started working on this show. And we started working with Rumble. And Rumble has several health and wellness companies that have reached out and wanted to talk to us. And I've started learning more and more about these supplements. And I've started taking a couple of them. And I will say that time is of the essence. And it's when you take that supplement and consistency and making sure you do, that is the greatest thing. So my objective every day, and I'm not a big water drinker, but this is the healthy fat in it. This is the MCT Wellness. This is the powder that Dr. Gundry created that he said helped him lose 70 pounds. It doesn't happen overnight, but that's the good part of it. You don't have that draping, sagging skin. You don't lose that muscle mass and look like you're just flabby or like you're a deflated helium balloon, right? You want to do it slowly. slowly in conjunction with exercise so you don't walk around like that. That is what this is. I found out, and it's been a while, but I just started doing it. I've got to finish this every single day before the end of the show. And without fail, I do not snack at all when I go to home to eat. We eat a reasonable meal, maybe around 6 o'clock, and then I eat nothing else. That's going to be my key. That's going to be my key. MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com. This is the drink. If you're drinking water, why not scoop this into it and see what happens to your appetite? See what happens to your cravings and see what happens to your scale, because you will eat less, you will munch less, yes, and you will lose weight. MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. So I'm going to work with them, with Dr. Gundry, Healthy Cell, Blood Flow, and we might be bringing back Native Path. You guys remember Native Path? I've been taking some of their products too. And I'm going to put together kind of a regimen. And if you want to join me on it, I'm destined to lose some menopause weight. So that's what's going to go on.
I think things have changed. Like, I was never a supplement person either, but the fact of the matter is now that stuff doesn't taste like garbage.
I remember when my parents made us take cod liver oil.
Yeah, but Dr. Gundry.
Mm-hmm.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah.
So it's just not like,
yeah, I have
it's
to
no
get more.
Different than putting I don't know, the Mios in your water.
Yeah.
It's just you get sick of drinking. I drink a lot of water. That's why every once in a while I want it to have hops in it. But MTC Wellness, and they actually take Field of Greens, they actually taste good, before it was all like healthy food. Even the healthy food now has changed.
Mm-hmm. My kids are very aware of it. We went out to dinner last night and it was a happy hour thing because Joe got off of work on his half day, actually on a half day. And so we went out and they've given up soda. They've given up late night snacking. They're cognizant of their complexions. They're aware of their weight and they're aware of their health. And they want healthy food. They want more fruits and vegetables. They want more apples and oranges. It's wild. It's nuts. I don't know what pushed it. Probably something they've seen. Maybe tools he can tell us because he probably knows. Seen some stuff online. I'm sure some of the influencers or what have you who are trying to do this stuff. But yeah, like a healthy, when you feel good about you or you feel less crappy about you, it's so beneficial, right? It's regardless.
You never know how bad you feel. I say this often. You never know how bad you feel until you feel good.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? I love it. All right. Where am I going here? We're going to pack in 3 audio sound bites here in this bottom segment. It is unusual, but I am a trained professional. We'll make it work. Okay, so Trump is flushing out all of these America haters. All of these people who are never not just Trumpers, but they're never Americas. They don't want us to succeed. They don't want this administration to do well. They don't want the tariffs to stick. They don't want the IRS to be replaced by an external revenue service. They don't want to see your taxes go down. They don't want to see your freedom improve. They don't want to see your opportunity expand. They don't want you to be happy any more than they want you to be healthy. Because as long as you're sick, you need a prescription to get better, right? Well, what if you're just better? What if you're just not polluted? What if you're just not lied to, propagandized? What if you get a government that actually does what you want it to? We are in the process of developing that. We're in the process, and it's slow and it sucks. But it's so interesting to watch. It's so fascinating to pay attention to. I want you to hear Bill Maloogian. I think he's the best thing on Fox News. Far away. The hair, he's great. Whatever. He is the best that they have to offer. And he asked Hakeem Jeffries yesterday in this press briefing after his Gang of 8 meeting with Marco Rubio. And Rubio's like, look, I'm going to give him everything. This is what we're doing. This is what we're not doing, blah, blah, blah. And Bill Mallusion asks Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi said Obama didn't need the okay from Congress to go and bomb Libya. So now President Trump needs one to take strikes on Iran. Can you explain to me what's going on here? Hakeem Jeffries cannot answer the question, and here it is.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. Back in 2011, Nancy Pelosi said that then President Obama didn't need congressional approval to bomb Libya. Now House Democrats say President Trump needs that approval to bomb Iran. What's the difference?
Well, obviously, Libya and the circumstances connected to that were very different than the circumstance that we face in Iran right now. I mean, I don't even understand the genesis or basis of that question. Not suggesting that you're not asking it in good faith.
Libya went on for 7 months.
As I've indicated, first of all, it was not in Congress at the time. So we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, which is a catastrophic, endless war, as Donald Trump has characterized it, without any justification that there was going to be a preeminent assault or attack on the United States of America, either in our homeland or as it relates to our interests in the Middle East. The administration is not even pretending like they have intelligence or information at this point, publicly. And certainly there's been nothing that has been presented to us privately to justify a preemptive strike of this nature that has triggered an all-out war in the Middle East. And by the way, Donald Trump is the one who said in the aftermath of the 12-day war that Iran's nuclear program has been completely and totally obliterated. Not my words, his words. So was he lying to the American people then, or is he lying now? When he tried to suggest a few...
Isn't that interesting? He says, I wasn't in Congress when Nancy Pelosi said that about Barack Obama and about Libya. So I really can't talk about that, but I can pivot and I can give you the propaganda talking points that I've been instructed to read to you. And it's so funny because it's not funny, it's pathetic. This is exactly what Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, predicted after he had briefed or was going to brief the Gang of Eight, of which Hakeem Jeffries is a member. He's going to say, look, no matter what we tell them, no matter what we say, they're going to come out here. The Democrats, the never-Trumpers, are going to come out here and tell you that what we're doing is wrong, that they know nothing. They got no information, that we're lying, that it's all a mess. These are the people who hate America, and they want Trump to fail. And he predicted this, exactly what happened. Here's Marco Rubio.
Several Democrats criticized what you said and argued that
the question is several Democrats criticize. They're going to always criticize. We've been doing this for years, guys. They come out. I'll tell you right now, they're going to come out after the briefing and say, we didn't hear anything. We have more questions than answers. You mark my words. But we still do these briefings.
But we still do these briefings. This is the role playing. This is the, I don't know, this is the theatrical performance that we put on for people, right? I do brief them. They do know exactly what's going on. And so when they come out here and tell you this, it's scripted, it's performative, it's predictable. We expect this. Here's Chuck Schumer proving that the media will always run interference for Democrats. So he's asked for a statement after also being briefed by Marco Rubio. And to his point, this is what the senator, former Senate Majority Leader, now literal zero of a guy who's scraping by with 27% approval. He misspeaks and the media correct him so he can come back and fix it. So his audio soundbite is correct for the evening news.
Do you think Israel, forced the U.S.'s hand here, boxed the U.S. in on this?
Look, no one wants a nuclear war. No one wants a nuclear Israel, but we certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple. What did I say?
Nuclear Israel.
Oh, no. Got it. Let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure. Okay?
Okay, thanks for correcting me. And they're all giggling. He messed up his script. You want to try it again for the cameras? It's so disingenuous. It's so scripted. And the actors are poor. Don't you think we deserve a better drama? Don't you believe America is deserving of a finer screenplay? Right? Because we're not even past the opening act. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Kristi Noem in the hot seat, Senator Tom Tillis on his way out with his little swan song performance. Don't miss it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's very interesting.
I
It's
think
very
the
disappointing.
press saying to him, they wanted the soundbite. He knew it. That's why he said it. And he's like, good. There you go.
Better now? Thank you. He could have said 3, 2, 1.
That's
What we
usually
don't
what you
need
do.
is, yes, right?
When you're cutting things, yeah, you're like 3, 2, 1.
You know, it's interesting. Our money, we know, doesn't go as far as we wanted to these days. And I think I worry an awful lot about this crazy shift to digital currency. Like, what happens with your cash? Does it have actual value? Should you stuff it in your mattress? Should you put it in a box? Like, where should you go? Because it's not in the bank. It's not earning you anything. That's why we're seeing an unprecedented need for an alternative store of value. And for my family, literally, it's gold and silver. I've shared it with you, many pieces that I have. If you go to wendylovesgold.com, you can learn how you can protect yourself and your family from inflation by diversifying with gold. And inflation exists, it's still around us, and this is a great hedge on it. You can join the Texas Bullion Exchange email list, the Wendy Loves Gold. That's how you get their email list. Be among the first to learn about physical precious metals, new products, and how you can get them into your IRA portfolio. Unlike a traditional IRA or 401k, which typically limit investments to stocks and bonds and mutual funds, a precious metals IRA offers a way to diversify retirement savings with tangible physical assets that may provide a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. And it's super easy to ask about it. It's super easy to open a precious metals IRA. You can do it over the phone. It's simple. It is straightforward. You choose your metals, sort of like you choose your meat. You want pork, you want fish, you want beef. What do you want? You can choose gold, silver, platinum, and palladium coins, bars, and rounds. Precious metals have historically held their value over time, and you got to love that the value of metals is up so high today. Why not get in touch with them? 855-927-5557. 855-927-5557. That's our bat phone to them. WendyLovesGold.com. And the gold, I mean, the American Eagles that I have and the gold buffaloes, they're beautiful. Beautiful. What is gold right now? Where are we looking? WendyLovesGold.com. Let's see. Gold is up $8, 51.24. Silver is down a quarter to 83.19.
There goes my 401k.
Palladium is super interesting. Palladium and platinum. Platinum is up $73 an ounce. Palladium is up $24 an ounce. Right? You're like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? How does that come? It's a great question to ask our friends. I think I need to ask them to send me some. I really think you should send me some platinum and palladium. I don't know what it's like. Why not? WendyLovesGold.com. Brrr. Jeez.
Did you smell popcorn before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I thought it was my COVID nose.
I thought it was my computer catching on fire.
Right? Freezing. Beezing. Not anymore, baby. All right, let's go. Okay, I gotta not have this all weird. All right.
Nice pleather jacket.
It's not pleather. You guys, I hope you try Ghost Bed. I really do. I think you're going to be so impressed. So impressed. And it's one of those mattresses that you will look at your house and you'll be like, you know what, honey, we have 3 mattresses in this house and they're all horrible. We can buy 3 of these Ghost Beds for one of those super duper outrageously expensive ones that get sold. They've got like space age equipment and gravity defying materials. And you're like, okay, whatever. You could get 2 Ghost Beds. And he wanted to create something that was therapeutic, that wasn't a piece of furniture. It was part of your like health and wellness. And he wanted to make it so that you could afford it. Ghostbed.com/Wendy.
I will say I looked at one of the Ghost Beds that could raise your feet, adjustable. And because I also looked at it, the type of bed I have.
Yes.
Because mine's 15 years old. And the price difference is like, wow, why would I even I could buy 2 of those for the price of the one.
It's true. It's true. And I think that was the whole point. Like, just because you could charge premium pricing doesn't mean that they wanted to, which is lovely.
American made too. That's kind of
American made, family owned and operated.
That's nice.
And I love when, for instance, this new sponsor we might get through Rumble, it has to do with like red light therapy that Dr. Mike swears by that you use when you go to the chiropractor.
I've been using, it's world different.
And it's right. It's exorbitantly expensive. Like it's super expensive, but people in pain who want to heal will spend money for that possibility.
I did. That back pain can be debilitating.
It can be.
It is, right?
Right?
You saw me.
Yes.
I had trouble getting on.
Hey, remember Wendy Bell Radio. That's how you get our podcast, wherever you get your favorite listening material. Plug us in and help us as we get ever closer to 8 million podcast downloads. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, so Kristi Noem, they call her Ice Barbie, Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, in the hot seat yesterday. I want to imagine just for a moment walking in after Alejandro Mayorkas left. Right? It'd be like Pigpen in your kitchen. Just crap everywhere. Scraps everywhere. Supplies used up, stuff gone, filthy, overrun with garbage. This is what Kristi Noem inherited. Millions of people who were let across the border, many of them dangerous. 70% of those who Noem in the Department of Homeland Security have rounded up with deportation orders have criminal histories, 70%. And so she's on the hot seat a year into this job, being asked, why haven't you done more? Well, it's like, we don't even know how many people came across the border because the Biden administration didn't care. They didn't care about 500,000 unaccompanied minor children. Alejandro Mayorkas, right, answered on the hot seat, basically had no idea where all the kids were. And he really wasn't worried about that. And you're going to hear a rhino, Tom Tillis, outgoing, a Trump hater. Trump doesn't like him either. But this is his swan song. This is his performance. This is it. This is lights out on Tom Tillis. He's going to go down in a blaze of glory. He's going to skewer Ice Barbie in his eyes, who's a part of his party. And he's either dumb or he's exposing himself as the deep stater that he is in this line of questioning. I'm going to set it up for you. So what's going on? I'll read to you. I don't just read right-wing echo chamber stuff. We're going to read this from the Hill. They are not all that sympathetic to the right. Tom Tillis unleashes on Noem, saying time after time, I've been disappointed. Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina tore into Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in a 10-minute tirade criticizing her for everything from her handling of the deaths of 2 Minnesotans to killing her own dog, in a monologue that garnered applause from the audience of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Cleaning up corruption and making things right is a tireless and oftentimes thankless job. Isn't it amazing that there's been zero turnover in this administration, save for Dan Bongino bouncing back to the radio? That's amazing. I'm giving you a performance evaluation here, he said. Well, hell, how about you listen to it yourself? In 60 seconds, this audio soundbite is going to prove to you that Tom Tillis is no better at his job than the media have been at theirs. And he's going to rail on Kristi Noem for her, quote, disastrous handling of ICE in Minnesota and the deaths of 2 people. Here you go.
Once out of the White House. We just want numbers. We want 1,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 9,000 a day, because numbers matter, right? No, they don't matter. Quality matters, not quantity, quality. And what we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, a disaster. What we've seen is innocent people getting detained that turn out are American citizens. I could talk about the culture that's been created here with Stephen Miller aiding and abetting. I heard first reports that he was the one that said it was a domestic terrorist situation where 2 people lost their lives in Minneapolis. I've heard that report. Maybe you can refute it. I don't know that we'll have time for you to respond because I'm giving you a performance evaluation here. I'm not looking for a response. And I'm saying, Ms. Noem, that time after time after time I've been disappointed. But before I get back to looking at the vicious people that did this damage to these families, I want to talk a minute about FEMA.
Alex Preddy, Senator, and Renee Good made decisions those days, the same way George Floyd did. Those decisions did not end well for them. It is curious that the dead are seemingly never to blame for the consequences of their actions or decisions. And your grandstanding and bloviating for the spotlight is all not for Kristi Noem. It's not to admonish her per se. It's to take a swing at President Trump. That's what you're doing. You know, arresting and detaining U.S. citizens happens when you've got all these people, over 15 million or more that came across the border under Joe Biden. How on earth? They didn't detain them. They didn't monitor them. They didn't pay attention to them. They didn't care about the children. ProPublica has documented over 170 improper arrests of U.S. citizens by this administration, as though that is some horror. 170 individuals out of 15 million, out of 700,000 that have been deported in the last, several months? You're going to bitch about 170 American citizens who were wrongly detained and then released? It happens, Tom. It happens when you open the border. We see right through you. So does Donald Trump, which is why he called you out. Say, get the hell out of here. Tom Tillis part 2 here. All right, so let's talk about FEMA, Tom. Tom Tillis is going to say that Kristi Noem and FEMA, which is under her direction, have been woeful in managing all of the claims from the series of hurricanes and problems that the Biden administration failed through. And he's going to hold her feet to the fire. Well, on the flip side of that, we've got a little fact check, a little Wayback Machine. Let's go.
You have a policy right now that anything over $100,000 has to go through your desk for approval. I asked my staff, because I'm a management consultant, I don't try to do cheap shots in here, but the facts do not lie. This is your administration for FEMA response. This is President Trump's first administration. Which one would you like to have? If you're a state that has a $60 billion disaster, your biggest disaster in South Dakota that I can tell that when you were an elected official was about $500 million. So 1/100th of this single storm where thousands of people are hurting in North Carolina and you're just barely catching up. This is what competent FEMA leadership looks like. This is what incompetent FEMA leadership looks like. And people are hurting in Western North Carolina from the most significant storm they've ever experienced. This is what we need more of. I'm convinced you can't do it. If you're requesting a review of $100,000 and up, then it begs the question, why? Why would you be involved in that?
Why would you need people who have $100,000 claims or higher to go through your department, to go directly through your desk? Because there's fraud, Tom. Because the Democrats were funneling money, Tom, from the people who needed it to rebuild, and they walked by their houses, Tom. Remember that? Because I do. I do. If you had a Trump flag or an American flag, they bounce right by your ramshackle, destroyed home from hurricane. What? Helene or Milton or Ida or Ian or Fiona, they all happened under the Biden administration, Tom. Kind of like the 15 million or more people who crossed the border, who you expect Kristi Noem to never make one bad arrest. Isn't that remarkable, Tom? I remember all of that. How about the fires? The Dixie Fire, the Marshall Fire, the Maui fires, the Palisades. That all happened under Joe Biden. The drought declarations in 18 states, Tom, how about that? And the Ohio train derailment and ensuing decision to, because that sounded like such a great play, Tom. You want to know why Kristi Noem wants people who've got $100,000 or more claims to go directly through her office? Well, we know. How about the BBC article? They blew it up. Joe Biden condemns misinformation about the hurricane. But how about this? At multiple campaign events since the hurricane struck, this is before Trump won again, Trump and his allies have claimed that government money earmarked for disaster victims has been spent on migrants who crossed illegally into America. Tom, Kamala spent all her FEMA money, billions of dollars, on housing for illegal migrants, the president said. The BBC fact-checked him and said, no, that's not really what happened. Really? Is that true? What about FEMA not answering almost half of the calls it received for disaster aid, Tom? Did you ask Alejandro Mayorkas when he was head of Homeland Security about that? Did you? I don't think so. Mike Toomey called a federal helpline last week. This is an article from E&E News and Politico, which, by the way, is not right-wing by any stretch, dated 10/31/2024. So this is about a week before the election. Mike Toomey called a federal helpline last week to get disaster aid after Hurricane Helene flooded his home in western North Carolina. Oh, is this one of the people that Tom Tillis is talking about and barking at Kristi Noem about? Well, Mike Toomey got a recording instead. They said I was 675th in line, said Toomey, a painter in a spattered shirt, as he recalled as he waited outside a federal recovery center in Hendersonville. Hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to recover from disasters nationwide have been unable to get through to federal call centers or have stayed on hold for excessive periods of time in the week since Helene barreled into southern Appalachia last month. Overwhelmed by Helene and Hurricane Milton, the centers failed to answer nearly half of the incoming phone calls over the course of 1 week. Tom, really? The Federal Emergency Management Agency, which published the call data Tuesday, also disclosed that it's struggling with staffing levels a month after the hurricane heavily damaged states from Florida to Tennessee. And Tom Tillis has the audacity to finger wag the new Department of Homeland Security secretary, who's apparently not working fast enough as Democrats go out and plant more landmines, as in paid protesters, which leads to people like Renee Good and Alex Preddy making decisions like George Floyd that cost them their lives. Tom Tillis, you did nothing to demean, I believe, Kristi Noem's reputation in that hearing. You did, however, out yourself as a deep state rhino of suck who clearly aligns with the agenda that is anti-America. And I'm glad you're leaving, and I'm glad President Trump has called you out. See, these are the Republicans. These are the people who are more offensive to me than the people on the left who vote in lockstep. They're not allowed to think for themselves. They're not allowed to vote by themselves. They're not allowed to seek their own truths or to talk about what they believe. They're given the script. They execute the script. Tom Tillis is clearly looking for some kind of a job, don't you think? Look at me. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I think we should talk a little bit about fraud plus failure to act. If you add those two things together, what do you get? You get a prototype of the Democrats. I'll explain next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I was just looking, and Brock can attest to this because you saw me doing it. I was looking at Ireland Contracting's website.
You were.
And I was going through their portfolio.
I heard. Oh, that's pretty.
Because they have these beautiful photos of homes that they have put new siding on. Homes that they have added beautiful new Owens Corning roof on, right? New windows. soffit and fascia gutters and downspouts. There is something about pulling up to your home and not having it look like trash. And I've gone through all of these phases of construction. I've had things falling off. I have just found out before we do a project on our backyard, on our patio, that our 2 electrical panels are not up to code. And we would never be able to sell our house or do any, not to mention fire hazard and surge hazard and anything, right? Because of these electrical panels. It's going to cost me $9,000 before I even sign a paper that says we're going to do this to the backyard, to the patio, right? You need the best professionals. And for home exterior renovation work in southwestern Pennsylvania, there is no finer contractor than Ireland. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. They're the best. And the pictures are phenomenal. Read the testimonials, flip through the slideshow and be like, dang, I'd like to feel like they probably feel when they pull up after work every night and see their home. It really bothers me that Tom Tillis would sit there and finger wag. Now, there is a valid concern, and he did bring up a valid concern about her. I don't know why there's some like $200 million ad campaign about Kristi Noem on a horseback in South Dakota or North Dakota or wherever the hell she is, and that the ad agency that was hired was apparently Tricia McLaughlin's husband's company. Tricia McLaughlin, who is one of the deputies at DHS, who's leaving. And there's some big ad buy. Why? What are we doing? Why are we ad buying about DHS? I don't understand that. That's valid. I'm interested in that. I'm not, right? And what was the story about her killing her dog?
Oh, excuse me. That was that she killed her dog, but it was, I think the dog, I don't know. I think the dog went after her grandkid or something like that, but.
And she had to neutralize the threat.
Yeah.
That's not an easy decision to make. So we're going to sit there and we're going to talk about that. She killed her dog. Well, Mitt Romney did, didn't he? What did he do? Drive around? Was it him?
I don't know.
I had a dog on the car, on the top of the car.
What? That was like something about Mary or something.
No, I'm being serious.
I sent you a text.
Is it going to hurt my feelings?
Yes.
Oh, it's so mean. You sent me a text. Oh my God. Wow. That wasn't on my bingo card. Oversight and Tim Walz's action to talk about, but this just in. Apparently, the president has put out a new truth about the Republican primary race for United States Senate in the great state of Texas. He writes, a state I love and I won 3 times in record numbers, the highest vote ever recorded by far. Well, cannot for the good of the party and our country itself be allowed to go on any longer. The Republican race cannot happen like this. We cannot have this dueling runoff in 2 months, 2.5 months, that's going to drain the Republican coffers dry. We got to figure out what we're going to do. It has to stop now, the president says. We have an easy to beat radical left opponent, and we have to totally focus on putting him away quickly and decisively. Both John Cornyn and Ken Paxton ran great races, but not good enough. This one has to be perfect. My endorsements within the Republican Party have been virtually insurmountable. It is such an honor to realize and say that almost everyone I endorse wins, and wins by a lot, especially in Texas. I will be making my endorsements soon, and I will be asking the candidate that I don't endorse to immediately drop out of the race. Is that fair? We must win in November. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. A freaking men. We're not going to go on for another 9 weeks. We're not going to wring our hands over this. We're not going to beat each other up. We've got to beat up our opponent, and the opponent is the Democrat. And we're going to win. I agree with the president there. So I want to talk briefly. So Tim Walz is before. What panel is he before? Because we're getting all sorts of video, Brock. I don't know who he's sitting before. Is it House Oversight?
I believe it is.
It might be. Okay, so this is just ridiculous. The House Oversight Committee concludes that Tim Walz's administration knew of fraud and failed to act. Now, this isn't surprising to anybody. You're not like, oh, what? Are you telling me that Tim Walz knew that the Somalians with the IQ of 60 who sleep with their brothers and sisters are the ones who are masterminding this ridiculous scheme in Minnesota, and they're walking away with billions of dollars and they're buying like jets and property in Kenya? Like, really? No, that's so weird. Yeah, that's what we're saying. And Tim Walz knew all about it. Of course he did. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's administration was made aware of fraud and benefits programs early in his tenure. He failed to take action to stop it. And I was just watching an audio soundbite where Comer was asking him, like, you realize that we said you had to freeze these payments and you just kept making these payments. And Walz is like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't allow these people to act as though they are fools who did not know. Well, gee willikers, shucks. I didn't know. I was so busy and we're just such good people. No, you're not. You're not. There's a reason why Kamala chose you as her running mate. It wasn't because of your military service, though you are accused of stolen valor. It's not because of all of the times you went out there and you championed the United States. No, you went over to China, right? You're a China lover, Tim. Like, I love these stories that tell you, yeah, they knew all along that what was going on was illegal and fraudulent, but they did it anyway, as though that's going to be some big bombshell revelation, because it's not. Senior Minnesota government officials, including Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison, were aware of claims of widespread fraud in the state's federally funded welfare programs for years. They took money, you guys, away from people who legit need it. Did you guys see the video of the little boy? He's 12, who has a 6-year-old sister. And he was before court because there was some attorney who was saying that it was against child labor laws that this little boy was working nights at a gas station. And the judge asked the boy, why are you working in this gas station? You're 12. And he said, my parents were killed in a car accident last year. And they want to split up my sister and me. And if I don't support her and I don't make money, I can't keep her. I can't keep us together. And the judge said, case dismissed. What do we need to do to get this child the help he needs? Tim Walz, Keith Ellison, and these dirtbags allowed people from other countries to take money that child and his little sister need. And they would do it all over again tomorrow. That disgusts me as much as any Ayatollah chanting death to America disgusts me. So what's worse? The enemies overseas on foreign lands who don't speak your language, but who want to kill you. Or the ones who are in your own backyard, who wear lapel pins that are American flags. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell. My goodness, this day is going by fast. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is up next. Dr. Oz goes to New York City, and Kathy Hochul, she is sphinctered like nobody's business, right? There's diamonds coming out of there. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, Healthy Cell. Healthy Cell. It is such a great, and it is such the pivotal partner in this program that I'm going to launch, I think, on Monday. And I'm going to tell you about all of the components of what I'm doing. And if you want to join me, I hope you do. And my thing was all about losing 8 to 12 pounds, 15 pounds or less. If you want to do that and you want to join me on this effort, and you want to make sure you get the nutrients that you need, and you want help with your cravings and with your appetite, and you want to make sure you're staying hydrated, and you also want to make sure, especially as you're getting older, that you're protecting your immune system, you're getting the vitamins and minerals that you need. This is where I partner with healthycell.com/Wendy. Healthy Cell is an innovative way of getting vitamins and minerals and nutrients and supplements into your bloodstream like that by bypassing your gut. And how do they do that? They put their nutrients, their nutraceuticals, their adaptogens, all these things that are not drugs by Pfizer, and they put them in a microgel form. So you tear off a little top of a pouch, slurp in the goodness, swallow it, and you're on your way. 165% more absorbed than capsules and pills. And their formulas are fantastic. The Healthy Cell REM sleep. You want to sleep well? You want to wake up and not feel like you got hit by a truck? It's called REM sleep. It's a formula. You're making a presentation. You've got to stand up before an audience. You got to sound like you know what you're doing, like I do every single day. They've got a formula for that. It's called Focus and Recall. You got problems with your joint health. You're worried about your mobility. They've got a formula for that. How about your bone strength? Are you somebody like I am and you need some magnesium? You're maybe at risk for osteoporosis. Well, they've got a formula for that. How about your eyes? You know that you've got issues with your vision. How about their eye health formula? Hair, skin, and nails. Your hair feels like it's not shiny. Your nails are paper thin, or your skin just feels translucent or looks that way. There's a formula for that. It's called healthycell.com/Wendy. It's not expensive. It is important. And I love a company that creates a new mousetrap. And that's what they did. healthycell.com/Wendy. I love them. And I need some testimonials. How about it if you take any of their formulations and you like them? Right. If you don't like them, I still want to hear from you. Let me know. Any of our sponsors, wendybellradio@gmail.com. I know some of you have sent stuff to the P.O. Box. I beg your pardon. I have not been there in a little while. Maybe today.
The new schedule.
It's different. It's just different. It's not the, yes. You know what I love about it, though? I go home and I spend more time with my son, Jack, now in the kitchen with this schedule change than I ever saw Jack before. It's so great. Because I get home close to 4, start planning on taking out some of the vegetables, some of the stuff we're going to be making for dinner. And invariably, he's somewhere and comes and drifts into the kitchen and starts making something with me. And our conversations about food, it's the best. And
I get home and work.
And we create this big meal together. Oh, no, you don't. I ask you what you do, and you're like, nothing. Mitch McConnell looks like he's lost about 15 pounds.
That's what happens when you don't move.
Hey, Rumble Wallet. They want me to tell you about this Rumble Wallet. And I'm going to read you exactly what they want me to tell you. And you decide what you want to do with it. No pressure. I like Rumble. They're always thinking outside the box as well. So they're talking about censorship. They're talking about the president being debanked by Chase. Wasn't it Chase? JP Morgan Chase. And 9 other banks after January 6th. Like, if they can do that to a president, where's your money? Where's your wallet? Where's your money? Well, Rumble wants you to create a wallet with them. Rumble is challenging big tech censorship. They've introduced something that's going to give us protection from big banks, possibly shutting us off, something you can think about. Banks can cancel our accounts. They can freeze our cards. And that's why they launched Rumble Wallet. It is a wallet that no one can cancel and a wallet that supporters can use to instantly, if you so want to, can tip creators without any middlemen taking cuts. Right now, we only get about 60% of every dollar that you give us. So that's why they created this. That's not to say that you should do it. You can buy and save digital assets with Rumble Wallet. It's the only wallet to buy and save. It's not only a wallet to buy and save, it also allows you to support your favorite creators by easily tipping them with the click of a button. Go to wallet.rumble.com, download it today, search Rumble Wallet in the App Store, you'll find it, and then give me millions and millions of dollars. Right? Or if you're, you want to just sign over your estate to me, your will, whatever, that's okay. I understand you have needs.
Put in stipulations that Brock gets some.
I started writing a book, a second book. And the fantasy about the book is about somebody who looks like they don't have much, but is sitting on a stockpile of money and lives a very modest life.
There's a lot of people out there like that.
That somebody who is very poor and destitute goes to help that individual at the end of their life because it's the right thing to do. And that person ends up giving them, food and shelter and what have you in exchange for their assistance. And they develop a very close bond. And secrets are revealed in their ensuing friendship, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, the end of it is
You haven't let me read it yet.
Is unbeknownst to the person who's helping out that the crotchety old codger that they're assisting is actually loaded and creates a framework for them to realize their dreams with financial assistance. But I think it's really sweet because he outlines all of these things in their relationship together, and then each of those things is lovingly met by this old person. It's great. So anyway, wendybellradio.com if you want to do that for me. Or Rumble Wallet.
Wow.
I'm just teasing.
3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. This kind of goes back to what I was saying in the opening monologue. That it's so offensive when you love America and you just want good stuff for the American people and you want honest leaders, to hear people who don't feel that way and to hear them talk that way in high levels of power. Hakeem Jeffries saying he thinks America is going to lose this fight with Iran. That it's already lost. It's not even worth it. This defeatist, un-American, unpatriotic. And then I say, and I said like these circumstances surrounding my children, like 3 of my 5 kids are going through something right now and they're waiting for a window to crack or a door to unlock so they understand that things that haven't worked out for them that they're trying really hard to do, maybe they're not meant to right now. That there's a reason why things are going on. I mean, there's a reason why our lives work out the way they do. I firmly believe that. There's a reason why Mehmet Oz as we watched him in his Senate debate to be a Pennsylvania senator against then Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. Like, we listened to Mehmet Oz and we're like, dude, smoke John Fetterman, whose first words were hello and good night. We're like, oh my God, dude had a stroke and we're putting him up here, this wild lurch-like thing. What? And then what have we gotten after that? How wrong I was, how wrong a lot of people were. I don't agree with a lot of John Fetterman's beliefs as a Democrat, but he's been very based. He's been logical. He's been very commonsensical. He's not been on my bingo card. And then conversely, think about Mehmet Oz. What's this guy who's a cardiothoracic surgeon who's brilliant, who patented a clip, if I'm not mistaken, or did something that had to do with cardiovascular la. He's been the head of these hospital systems. Like, I don't have his CV in front of me, obviously, but the dude is brilliant. So he gets handpicked to be the head of Medicaid and Medicare services. And you're like, well, what's he really going to do there? Well, a hell of a lot. He's going through all of the fraud in Minnesota. He's going through the hospice fraud in Los Angeles. And now he's got his sights set on the Big Apple. And it's crazy. I thought I would read you a few things before this is nuts. New York's $124 billion Medicaid empire is now under federal investigation. And Dr. Oz is coming in with a flamethrower, right? If he had beaten John Fetterman, where would John Fetterman be? He wouldn't be a thorn in the side of Democrats in the Senate. He wouldn't be the guy who's speaking out, standing up for people who deserve our applause at the State of the Union. He wouldn't be the one sore thumb, like figuratively and literally, of the Democratic Party. He wouldn't be such an obvious, like, what the hell happened to these people? He's even asking it of his own party. If what I had wanted to happen, which would have been Mehmet Oz to win, we wouldn't have had these things exposed. We wouldn't know how much they've been stealing from us. In a blistering letter to Governor Kathy Hochul, the Center for Medicaid Services, the chief, Dr. Oz, fired off 50 detailed questions probing waste, fraud, provider oversight failures, and why New York spends more per Medicaid beneficiary than any state in the nation. The numbers are staggering. It's like, when you look at Florida versus California in terms of age of population, Florida blows California out of the water. Got way more elderly folks in Florida, right? But if you look at the numbers, California, just LA County, has more alleged hospice providers, end of life providers, than any other state combined. And nobody was like, Houston, I think we got a problem here, right? Does this make sense? Nobody paid attention. Nobody cared. Democrats let it happen. And there's a reason it happens in these cities. There's a reason it happens in sanctuaries, because they've got layers of protection. There's a reason why these governors, think Gavin Newsom, think Tim Walz, have sued the Trump administration so that they don't have to be open about their Medicare rolls, about their welfare rolls, about their voter rolls. Why? Because they're cheating, because they're lying, because they're stealing, because they're aware of it and they're letting it happen. It's so disgusting, and they expect it to continue. They feel as though they are entitled to that money, not to the little 12-year-old boy who's working in a freaking gas station so that he can desperately provide for his 6-year-old sister. And when the judge, I got to find it tomorrow and play it for you. And when the judge ruled, no, you're going to stay together and we're going to actually do what we've got to do. We're going to work for you. We're going to keep you together. We're going to help you and your sister survive the deadly crash of your parents. And after he ruled that, little girl comes around from the corner and throws her arm around the waist of her brother, and he hugs her the way a father hugs a child. We want that money to go to those people. I want money to go to people who need help, You shouldn't die alone in this country. There should be services to help you. Why are we allowing these blue governors to allow to be thieved? In a blistering letter to Governor Kathy Hochul, the CMS chief fired off 50 detailed questions probing waste, fraud, provider oversight failures, and why New York spends more per Medicaid beneficiary than any state in the nation. The numbers are staggering. So it's $12,528 through Medicaid per beneficiary in New York. That's 36% above the national average, nearly 80% higher per resident spending in New York than the United States average. 6.8 million New Yorkers are enrolled in Medicaid. That's 34% of the state's population. They've seen a 121% spike in non-medical transportation spending in New York. It's a grift. The same way everybody has autism, right? No, they don't. No, they don't. Multi-million-dollar home care fraud schemes have already been uncovered there. Dr. Oz isn't just asking questions. He's signaling structural reform and potential federal intervention. It's more than a budget fight. It's more than, well, we need to cut some corners here. We need to, take from some, and we need to balance this. No, he's like, what are you doing? Because nobody's asked. If he didn't lose to Dr. or to John Fetterman, this wouldn't probably be happening, not to this degree. It's more than a budget fight. It's a referendum on New York's government model, ballooning enrollment, runaway home care costs, alleged mismanagement of the programs that do exist, and what critics call a Medicaid industrial complex that benefits providers more than patients. Why are we doing this? Well, this is what he wants to know. Oz has launched similar probes in California and in Minnesota. You know this. He's digging into the fraud involving daycare centers run by the Somali residents in Minneapolis, that after Nick Shirley and his partner David Hoke had to get, they unwound and publicized on YouTube, and it went viral. Hundreds of millions of views later. It's not about thank you for exposing that. It's about kill them. Right? They had to get protection. They need bodyguards to protect them because the threat is real. When you speak the truth, you get Charlie Kirk. That's so freaking scary. It's so unacceptable, right? They're looking into this in Minnesota. They're also investigating hospice and home health services in California. Oz is, in turn, leading to Gavin Newsom filing a civil rights complaint alleging discriminatory targeting. Because Oz is standing outside of a building and he's like, that building up there, that office up there, and you read that, you can't read that because it's in Russian. Yeah, we're getting ripped off here in Los Angeles County by Russian fraudsters, Serbian fraudsters. Oh, Gavin Newsom isn't outraged that the money is being stolen and taken from people in California who need it. People like that 12-year-old boy and his 6-year-old sister. He's outraged that the fraud is being called out, and he's filing a lawsuit against Oz in the federal government for civil, some discrimination. Shut up. Nobody wants you, Gavin. You're a liar. You're a performer. You're like Tim Walz, and Walz is also suing over the Dr. Oz withholding temporarily $260 million in federal Medicaid reimbursements to Minnesota. Answer our questions. Prove where the money is going. Clean it up, or we don't pay you. And their response isn't to fix the problem, because they need the problem to continue. God, I just had an aneurysm. They need the spigot to flow forever. And this president is saying, no. This is a war, you guys. We're not just at war with Iran. We're not just at war with some supreme leader and all of his sycophants. We're at war in America, you guys. That's the real story. 100%. When we come back, it's all about the Benjamins. House Oversight says it has a new list of Epstein associates it would like to chat with. Hey, Bill Gates, better clear your schedule. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Wow. It's almost like I had something to say about that. What'd you send me? My phone is fired up. Let's see. Oh, Indivisible. I got a new one. No war with Iran. This is what they're saying. This unauthorized war of choice has already cost the lives of U.S. troops and innocent civilians in Iran. Well, it cost 35,000 protesters their lives. Did I get that? Did I pull that? Yes. You're going to hear something from President Trump in the Oval Office that's just disturbing.
So, did you see what I sent you?
Sorry, I got sidetracked. Ah.
Now, someone's saying it's AI, but Grok says no, it's real.
Oh, that's it. And one of you guys through our app sent it to me. Gosh, and I want to give you credit. So I was like, holy moly. Let me tell you about disinfectwithsniper.com. Disinfectwithsniper.com. You know, I want to talk to you about the 250th anniversary, birthday anniversary, whatever, flags for this country. Our friend, who I spoke with today, disinfectwithsniper.com, has the 250th anniversary flags, the birthday flags. There's one for just shy of $60. It's a great flag for outside, right? You don't care if it's going to get whipped around. That's not expensive for a special flag like that. Then there's one that is actually stitched. It's got stitching on it. That's about $100. That's a great flag for inside. Disinfectwithsniper.com has both. But again, you know why we talk about Disinfect with Sniper. It's because it's Sniper. It's the greatest air purifier, degreasing, antibacterial, antifungal spray that you should have on every floor of your house, period. Disinfectwithsniper.com. So this video is AI generated. No.
But Grok says no, it's real. And I know people probably are. Grok seems to be more on the ball than, because a lot of people just put, this is AI, this is AI. And then someone will eventually put, Grok, is this real?
Well, I mean, I would say that I could see how this story would be entirely real. Absolutely
He's 14,
real.
by the way, not
12, 14.
I could see it.
Right? You guys have me all hot and greasy.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's so not nice of you.
Well,
I
Michael
do everything
pointed out
for you.
earlier that the thumbnails, because I was explaining the thumbnail, you're like, do you use that? He's like, don't let her slander you like that.
Why?
Because you're like, oh, you started saying that, oh, you'll want credit for this, and like you did something.
Oh, God. Michael should remember.
I said, Michael, I told him we need to stick together, unionize.
No, there is no sticking together.
Who would ever thought the man keeping me down would be a woman?
Okay. I'm not going to give you any of my tulip blooms.
Michael and I are going to have a phone conversation about unionizing.
I'm just saying.
What are you just saying?
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
You. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I really don't pay too much attention to all of the hoopla over Jeffrey Epstein. I think we can all agree that the rape of a child is a despicable, vile, and evil act. And I hope that there is a God of even, that everybody who's ever done that pays the ultimate price. I can hope that. But the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's associates continues. And House Oversight says it has a new list of Epstein associates it would like to chat with. And I'm going to read you a little bit of this article from Gateway Pundit. You'll hear from House Oversight Chairman talking to Jesse Waters, James Comer, here in just a second. Comer said Tuesday that he is calling on 7 more people to appear for transcribed interviews, including Bill Gates. Comer also called in former Obama White House counsel Kathy Rumler to testify on her ties to Epstein. Rumler recently stepped down as Goldman Sachs general counsel after her ties to Epstein were revealed. These people believe that they are untouchable, that they are insulated because that's how the machine and the swamp have worked for so long. They can basically act and do obscene, ridiculous things like all night long, feeding ballots, pristine ballots into the counter, right? And telling everybody, oh, Joe Biden won in Georgia, right? This is one of those things. He says he's calling on 7 individuals to appear. Let's hear who else is on the list. Here is James Comer, House Oversight Chair, with Jesse Waters.
What's next for this investigation? Who else will you be calling in for interviews?
Well, we announced 8 more people today will be coming in, including Leon Black, who was primarily the biggest money transfer to Jeffrey Epstein from the limited bank records that I've been able to obtain. Leon Black was a major funder of Jeffrey Epstein's personal wealth. So we're going to bring him in. There was a Wall Street Journal about Leon Black where several women had accused Leon Black of wrongdoing. Kathy Rumler was President Obama's general counsel, who later went on to Goldman Sachs. She communicated with Epstein all the way until the end. She was trying to defend him. Then people like Bill Gates, again, some of the most powerful people in the world who have been named in the Epstein files. We're going to bring them all in, and we're going to ask them questions, and I hope it's in a professional manner. I hope we can do it quickly, and I hope we can get the truth to the American people and hold anyone accountable that we find committed crimes.
Well, none of us thinks you're going to hold anybody accountable because nobody's ever found guilty of perjury, and there are no penalties for that. Right? Until there are, I guess we'll, hold our breath, Chairman, no offense. So he talked about Leon Black, and I admit, I'm like, I don't know who that is. So I did a little bit of reading today, and this is one of those interesting, not so interesting, it's disgusting, but let's go. Leon Black is an American billionaire financier and co-founder of Apollo Global Management, which is considered a major private equity firm. He's also the former chairman of MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, just one of those sidebar things. And he's still on the board there. Go figure. Black built Apollo into a Wall Street powerhouse, managing over $700 billion in assets. And while as CEO until 2021, he stepped down over scrutiny, I should say, regarding his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, whom he paid $158 million in fees and taxes for his tax and estate advice, despite Epstein's lack of credentials. So $158 million, this guy, Leon Black, over time ended up paying Jeffrey Epstein for certain advice over taxes and real estate that Jeffrey Epstein really didn't have the credentials to talk about. So you're like, what did that $158 million really go for? Gee, I don't know. He faced lawsuits. This is where things get gross. He faced lawsuits alleging involvement in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. He settled it with the U.S. Virgin Islands. They brought a suit against Leon Black. He settled it by paying $62.5 million in cash in 2023 without ever admitting any fault amid accusations of rape. Those accusations were denied and then withdrawn. The New York Times actually learned of the payment, $62.5 million, to settle this lawsuit with the U.S. Virgin Islands after they went through a Freedom of Information Act request, right? This was kept totally hush-hush. So Black resigned as the chairman of this Apollo group that he created in 2021 after a review cleared him of enabling Epstein's crimes, but criticized the relationship. See, if you have money, you can rape whoever you want. You can bribe whoever you want. You can squeeze out of whatever you want. That's what it all is, right? You don't pay $62.5 million to the U.S. Virgin Islands unless there's a hell of a lot of people filing a lawsuit against you there. Do you guys remember when there was such a fuss over Donald Trump allegedly paying Stormy Daniels $130,000. There's a difference in paying six figures to make somebody shut up and go away because you're going to be a political figure, and paying $62.5 million so nobody talks about who you did. Right? But I'm sure nothing happened. When we come back, the world unites with America against Iran. Just Democrats don't join us. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I can't wait to go home and watch some of the Tim Walz hearings. I'm sure you guys are like Wendy and I. You just get sick of hearing all the hearings. This is all stuff we know. We know they're fraudulent. We know they had to have a hand in it. You mean to tell me that the governor doesn't know where the money's going? Really? There are so many people I'd like to see go away, like Lindsey Graham. Oh, they're saying Spain has bent the knee. And hearing these guys yell at Kristi Noem, saying, you think you can work without oversight? They do. Like, it's so... I mean, look at Thune in the Senate and not doing the SAVE Act. Everything, people, more time off for them. Then they get a break. And I'm sorry. Every Republican should be tweeting about it and going after Thune. His co-worker should be going after him.
I'm all over the place today. And I have to go to the DMV today and get a new stupid driver's license picture because my license expires on my birthday.
I have to go too.
You have to get a license too?
Yeah.
Well, let's have a little fun here, shall we?
I'm going to get a real ID.
Yeah, I already did that. Let me tell you guys as I'm doing this. Only for you people. Let me tell you about More Gains Fitness. Hold on. Kelly Morgan and More Gains Fitness. I think you're going to love what she does. I think you're going to love what they do. It's wonderful if you live in southwestern Pennsylvania to go and actually belong to a gym that gives a rip about you, that loves this country, and that has people who work there who served America. Like, that matters to me. You know? I love running into Kelly Morgan when we would go to Les Trobe or where have you, and there would be a Trump rally, and there she would be with her husband dressed in an American flag, essentially, right? And I was like, I love you. You're just... And she's transformed her life and her body. She does this and she shows people, look, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you can take charge and I'll help you. And she's got a great program. And you could do it from the comfort of your own home or your computer, wherever you live, which is what I think is great about it, right? Okay, let's see how many devices there were in my hair. 7 bobby pins and 3 clips. How you doing? I know, looks terrible, but whatever. MoreGainsFitness.com. MoreGainsFitness.com. I'm going to look like a popsicle when I go there. There we go. Whatevs. Anywho, I really hope you guys try this stuff, this tulip blooms. I think it's so... You want some? Oh.
I just washed my hands. I figured...
Wow. You're going to get addicted. You are. Come here and tell people that you're going to get addicted. I'm going to do it too because I just washed my hands. You know, to have something that goes on like a baby oil, but so much better and it smells great, but doesn't leave that remnant of schmear everywhere that absorbs into your skin, it's supposed to glide. And I'll tell you what, it's meant for massage, but if you've got aching feet, dry hands, dry feet, dry elbows, dry skin, this is Tulip Blooms. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I'm so interested in people trying this. If you're one of those people who loves skincare products, who loves feeling soft, who wants to be pampered but doesn't like to go to the spa, this is going to be your company. This is going to be it. And they're going to do some really great things coming up. People that you want to shop for, people that you want to give special gifts to.
This would be good for Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. We've been trying to find a florist, somebody who buys or who grows a lot of flowers. We're trying to do something with flowers too, but that's going to take a little bit more time. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. You're going to find everything they have, I think, that I've tried so far. I've tried lotions. I've tried body balms. I've tried their oils.
How great would that stuff feel?
What?
After you use your foot massager.
Oh, yeah, right? Or you could put it on and then put your feet in the thing with socks on and just let it go. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. Do I have sharks? Do I have like scalp showing?
Massager.
No. It is pretty special. All right, we're gonna have to play that tomorrow. The little boy. What?
Come on, people. The damn rumble button.
What do we need? How many?
A lot.
Program. Why is it as children that we never trust the people? We very rarely listen to the people who would be the last people in the world to lie to us. The people who we should trust the most, the people who've given us, done for us the most, are our parents. Why don't we listen to them? We're more likely to listen to some rando who rolls out of the woods who tells us something than we are to listen to the people we love. I don't know. I was the same way growing up. Until some point you realize that your parents know better and that your parents are on your side and then they want only what's best for you. Do you kind of relax a little bit and like, maybe I should listen. So this is how I feel about where this president is right now. Maybe we should, instead of listening to all these people who try to tell us the way they see the world, we should hone in on what this president is saying. He's saying in Texas, for instance, we're not going to get into some protracted fight. This isn't going to be some Republican duel, and you're going to take 10 paces, and I'm going to take 10 paces, and at the end of it, John Cornyn or Ken Paxton is going to be standing, and another one is going to be dead, right? Donald Trump is saying, no, that's not how this is going to be. I'm going to weigh in. I'm going to make a recommendation. I'm going to endorse one of you, and I expect the other person to understand what's at stake, and I expect you to take it on the chin. And I expect you to walk away as a gentleman for the good of the party, for the good of America. That's what it is. That's what the lapel flag is. That's what the pin is. It should be. It shouldn't be performative. It should mean something. And Trump's saying, listen to me. He's 8 steps ahead, 9 steps, 12 steps, whatever it is. He said something in the Oval Office yesterday that grabbed me. And it reminds me, and I suspect you as well when you hear it, what this man has seen, what he knows. He knows all about the Epstein stuff. He knows all about the Clintons. He knows exactly what's going on with Pizzagate, if that's true or not. He knows what's happening in Hollywood. He knows the darkness and the evil of the trafficking, of the raping of children and women, the moving of human collateral, the depravity of it all. He knows it. Melania knows it. You know, she's put her flag in the sand of all things to do with children for a reason. Yes. But I cannot fathom the burden of knowing the truth, having access to it, knowing who cheated in 2020, knowing who lied, knowing who stole, knowing who deceives, and having to play strategically. Because I'd want to come out with a press conference and be like, look, I know that you're a dirtbag, okay? I know all about you. I know about the money. I know what you did last Thursday. Don't think I don't know, because I know. I'd want to be like, look, I'm not playing around with you. Donald Trump has his cards. He has his cards, and he plays them in very strategic ways. But he knows. So I want to read you this. This is from, he promises, and this is where the title of this program today came from. It was basically enough ammo to fight forever. We've got it. We've got the tools. We've got the intel. We've got everything. We know everything. Trump came out with the Truth Social late last night with the truth. And he's like, we've got enough ammunition. We're building more. We're going to fight. And we're going to fight until the end. And we're going to win. And he speaks of Iran. He speaks of the Middle East. He speaks of countries that don't understand what he's trying to do. But he's also addressing something on a much broader stroke. He signals to the deep state, I have enough ammunition to fight you. And even if you think you can take me down, I've planted enough, I've made enough copies of the binder. I've had enough briefings with enough people. They know where to look. There is a kill switch. Trust me. Trump promises U.S. has ammo to fight forever. This is a story from the Washington Times where I ripped off the headline. The U.S. has enough ammunition to fight forever while most of Iran's military assets have been destroyed, President Trump said Tuesday, as the U.S.-Israeli campaign targeted a key meeting of Iranian leaders and the State Department scrambled to evacuate Americans trapped in the Middle East. We've talked about this. Clearly outgunned, Iran nevertheless ratcheted up retaliatory strikes and targeted U.S. diplomatic missions and key energy centers in the Persian Gulf. It is what people who are desperate do. U.S. embassies in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia closed after Iranian drone attacks. What evidence do you have, says, what's-her-face, Abby Phillip to Scott Jennings. What evidence do you have that there's an imminent threat? Oh, I don't know. Are you not looking at your television? Are you not seeing what's going on? Because I am. The escalating conflict is now taking a clear economic toll. U.S. stock markets plunging, oil prices surging abroad. It's what happens. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be over by Tuesday. It's not going to be done with meringue topping and a cherry. It's ugly. It's what happens. And when you're trying to carve out evil, you know, I'm going to give President Trump a little latitude here. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing what nobody before you had the stones to do. And then he said this. He's in the Oval Office. He's got a meeting and talking about tariffs and trade and whatnot with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. And he's asked a question, Trump is, about the offensive against Iran. And he drops some brutal, barbaric details that this man, Trump, has to walk around knowing and holding close to his heart every moment of every day. And it hit me, the burden that he must feel as he remains completely focused, as though he knows how it's all going to end. And this is what he said.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've seen countries around the world, many of whom don't usually work together, working with the United States on Iran, whether it's Saudi Arabia working with the United States, Israel, Qatari shooting down Iranian aircraft, and we've also seen European countries step up. Why are we seeing, such unity around the world against Iran?
That's a great point. Look, they're just evil. They're it's not the politics; it's their whole philosophy. It's their whole where they come from. It's terrible. Where they killed 35,000, I thought it was 32. Now it turns out it's much more than 35,000 people, and in some cases using machine guns with people that have no weapon. They have no weapon, and they're being machine gunned. They're being sniped from buildings. They're hitting the people with snipers right through the eyes. It's just a very evil ideology, and nobody's really seen anything like it.
He has. He just gave you some pretty serious specifics. Snipers on rooftops picking off protesters. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the left who howled over Renee Good and Alex Preddy? Can you imagine watching people get hosed down with machine gun fire? Can you imagine the carnage of 35,000 people? And then there are rumors of public hangings and other barbaric things that regime did to women. And Abby Phillip from CNN wants to defend Iran. That is a mental disorder. There is no question to me. That is mental illness. And the president continues. He says, Iran and their proxy goons have hit all of their neighboring countries. All of us have been hit some way or fashion by Iran. That is why all of these countries are joining together with we, the American people, to take decisive action to do what needed to be done years ago. Listen.
Even the fact that they've attacked all of their neighbors, and the neighbors weren't attacking. They thought they'd maybe sit it out or what. They've hit Qatar. They've hit UAE, they've hit Saudi Arabia, they've hit Oman. They were helping us negotiate. They got hit. Everybody got hit because they're evil and they're bad. It's a bad seed, and somebody had to do it. And it should have been done sometime during a 47-year period because so much death has been caused by them, so much unbelievable death. From Germany, too. Germany's been hit. Everybody's been hit by them. It's an evil ideology. And I've never been, look, I've done a lot of good things. So many people are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. You see it in the streets of Los Angeles. They have thousands of people. I saw it the other day, pictures of Donald Trump. And I'm looking, I'm on the phone, probably talking to you. And I'm looking, and I see my picture. I say, oh, no, it's another, protest. I see and then I started saying, boy, they were very friendly people. And then I saw a woman hugging the picture of me. I said, what's going on? And it turned out to be these are Iranian people that live in the United States.
So many.
Thousands and thousands. You saw the rallies. And in New York, too, they had a big rally by pictures all over the place. The fact is that people are happy what we did.
But not Democrats. Democrats who voted multiple times to send hundreds of billions of dollars. Democrats like the governor of Pennsylvania who signed a rocket that will be used against Russia by the Ukrainians in the Ukrainian-Russian war, right? We're going to send all of this money, all of these munitions, all of this stuff without a second thought. And that war really does not impact the American homeland. But keeping these people alive who chant death to America, who believe you should be murdered unless you agree with how they see the world and conform to it, it's so interesting. It's so disappointing. It is a disease. It is. I'm convinced. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, who loves America more than Democrats? How about Iranians? It is one soundbite. It says everything you need to know. And it sure shows you how little the Democrat Party seems to remember love of country. next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Read the tweet I just sent you.
I don't understand this Jared Polis thing.
Apparently, a state senator was sentenced for the same thing Tina Peters was, and he's talking about giving her clemency.
Oh.
And it says it's not lost on him that you can't give. That would just be a bad look. Not that Jared Polis probably cares, but. Oh, a couple months, we'll never have to hear from Jasmine Crockett again.
No, she's auditioning for the Democrats. She needs to be repositioned. So does Wesley Hunt.
I could see him doing many things.
What do you mean?
Wesley
Hunt? Mm-hmm.
Smart, veteran. Over 500,000 celebrate the freedom of Iran. One of the biggest gatherings. Where is that at?
We have a last second push. We need 300 people to get to 3,000 rumbles. I would be so grateful. That is a huge, huge number for us. 300 is not small, but I would so appreciate it.
You have to love the internet. Look at this picture.
Yeah, apparently J.B. Pritzker is all over the stuff.
Yeah, he was on the plane. That's funny.
Can you imagine being assigned to that cat?
What?
Right? All right, come on. 300 people. 250 people. Come on. I could really use it.
8 minutes.
Back about to the point where I started to pay attention to how the Democrats, a wing, a faction, a segment, I don't know how much, veered off the real road and ventured into the wilderness. and just began opposing everything that seemed to make sense to me. And I never understood what it is about Democrats that they get elected. Who votes for these people? I mean, just face value. If economics, by and large, are the number one thing people worry about, you worry about having money to pay your bills. You worry about putting food on the table. God forbid, having a vacation or squirreling away something for tomorrow. If economics drives so much of our comfort level and our uneasiness when it's in low supply, why would anybody ever vote for a political party that routinely, historically, and predictably votes to raise your taxes? That votes to gum up the works and make everything for you complicated. Do you know how many rules and regulations there are for somebody like me just to set up a little studio, a little business like the Wendy Bell Radio Network? I have one full-time employee. I pay maybe 5 other people part-time money to help me do this or that, from merchandise to marketing to Kelly, our voice guy, Michael, who handles all of our social media, all of this stuff, right? Lindsay, who does our merchandise. There are rules and regulations and things I've got to be aware of with all of this. It's dizzying. The taxes of it, the implications, if you're not a game player, if you don't lie and fudge and cheat, and if you don't, why not? Because they take so much money anyway. It's the number one worst part of breaking out away from a company, because they handle all of that nonsense. It's brilliant when you're the worker until you realize that what they do is not what you want to do anymore. How do Democrats get in power? How do they stay? Who votes for these people? They're against everything you and I are for. And it's gotten worse. And when it comes to something as pivotal as war, or as taking a strike on somebody who is the embodiment, historically accurate, demonstrably proven architect of evil, who has killed how many hundreds of thousands of his own people, let alone how many thousands of Americans, and has been unabashed about it. How do you defend a political party whose leader says, we're going to lose? How do you do that? How do you support a party that shows you every single day that they're not for your herd, America? And then when you see people who've actually been liberated, who see hope after 47 years of not, and they wrap themselves in their homeland's flag in your country, and that's what you're going to hear this. It's a gentleman. He's Iranian, and he's got the Iranian flag wrapped around his shoulders. And he says, in a very loud, celebratory environment, thank God. Thank you, America. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for this opportunity. I love America, though. I love America. You do not hear this ever from the left. Listen.
So God bless America. We love America. We respect the flag. This is our second flag. Our first flag is the flag of the United States of America. God bless America. God bless all of you. God bless our Army, our Navy, and whoever participating in this. And I pray in the name of Jesus, all of you guys to come back home safe. And again, we love you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. God bless America. And we love the flag of this country. Thank you so much.
I don't need the blaring music bed underneath the sentiment, because the gentleman says everything he needs to say in 26 seconds. Your Democrat members of Congress took a knee on the floor of the Capitol Rotunda, draped in kente cloths, for George Floyd. George Floyd. A goon. A two-bit thief. A druggie. And then they allowed and looked the other way as America burned and was looted. And we vote for these people? No. Look, John Thune, I know you want to go on another vacation. I know you want to take a break because the Senate only's got to work 70 days this year. I mean, I know you've got a big one coming up and you want to do just 4-day-a-weeks before your big 17-day break later this month. If that's not obnoxious, it is. Pass the SAVE Act. You're watching all of your Republicans who don't feel the way you do about this country, who don't feel the way that man from Iran wearing the Iranian flag feels about this country, because they're in bed with the Democrats. I'll be very interested to see who Trump endorses, Cornyn or Paxton. It'll tell us a lot. Thanks for being here. Come on back tomorrow. I can't wait to see you and do it again. Peace.